All right, hard yarners. Delby has gone. He's left.
He stormed out. I didn't mean what I said. Delby.
He said to quickly go.
He stormed out. I mentioned something.
I think he's out for the last half an hour, but we keep fucking going.
Dude, we're dominating. Without his puns, the fucking pod takes off.
I lost my shit for, I reckon, about 8 to 9 minutes straight with Wolfie talking about the Queen getting titty fucked.
But then we hit a real lull, and I turned it off.
But it was a fucking awesome, fun episode. It's the first time Wolfie's been on. You were on like 6 times last year, and we haven't had you on this year, so we thought it was about time.
Well, I can't pick up my phone, eh?
Perfect. But what else did we talk about?
Oh, mate, we just rambled around.
Yeah, we did.
What did we talk? Touched on everything.
Elon?
School, the fact that Delby's a teacher means anyone can pass the syllabus.
We talked about Elon trying to buy Twitter.
Some conspiracy theories about TikTok.
Yeah, and I don't know. We just fucking talk shit, it's great sometimes to just talk some shit and hit on some serious topics.
Mate, stay hard.
Let's get hard.
See you, mate. Because I was doing the opposite reaction. So the crowd would go, yeah, and I'd go like, boo. And then when they'd go like, boo, I'd go like, you get it, man. You fuck whoever you want, boy. We're on, man. Let's go. He's recording.
Fish on.
Dude, I've written new stuff, but I don't know where.
But you shit yourself and you never do the new stuff.
No, I've got it now. I've done it.
You've done it?
I've done the last 3 sets I've done in Freo with just freestyle.
Good.
Like no material, just talking.
Feel better?
Well, I mean, it didn't go well, but I felt great.
Yeah.
Crowd's like, what the fuck's he talking about? I'm like, yeah, I've been in Adelaide. Nothing really there, is there? And then, do you know what I mean? Just yapping.
Life's a pod, man. That's what it is.
But I reckon it's the way forward, man.
So you want to just riff?
Just like...
You want a cold
I want to
legacy?
become legacy without asking the crowd. Just to basically
Just
go in your
one
own head.
monologue.
And I'm like, fuck, just talk to yourself, dumb fuck. You don't need someone, you're an architect. Just, I'll be the architect. I'm an architect.
You design the combo.
And they're just like, you know what I mean? Try work. I'm trying to work out if your left brain can talk to your right. And that becomes your stand-up. Do you know what I mean? You do crowd work in your own head.
Yeah.
And they're like, this guy's schizophrenic. And I'm like, shut up, cunt. I'm talking to the crowd right now.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
my left brain talking to my right.
Yeah.
You're schizophrenic. I'm like, shut your fucking mouth, cunt. But man, you know what the hard thing is the investment of like, what the fuck? This is cut out now.
What?
The headset's
Did
gone.
you pull it?
Oh, something. Yeah, it's back.
Oh, nice.
No, the hard part's writing it and then remembering it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It turns it into schoolwork.
stand-up, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying like...
Well, what do you do? Do you write word for word or do you just write down an idea or...
Well, what I started doing now is... Before I had this backlog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like I'd get a funny thing. Like I stopped at the lights and a windscreen wiper was there and I gave him a look like, get out, you filthy... We got fucking buttons for that.
Yeah.
And then he sneezed on my windscreen.
What?
He sneezed on the windscreen.
He's creating business for himself.
And I was like, oh, fucking get it off, you fucking dirty dog. I don't want that in my system,
That's
mate.
job
There's a loogie on my window now. Wipe it off, cunt.
Job creation.
But I tried not to pay, but you give him like, no one's got coins now, man.
Yeah.
So it's just
They've
ridiculous.
Got readers. They got square readers.
If you got a reader, you can't be doing Windows. Hey, you're like, that reader's worth $5,000. Sell that and get
you're not
your
doing
heroin.
Windows. You're doing Apple if you got a reader.
But dude, what a move. He sneezed on it. But then normally that would go on my phone. And then in 6 years, once I've got through the other shit about being molested or whatever, I'll finally go, windscreen, a guy sneezed on it. And be like, he's making it up, hey?
Yeah.
But like yesterday, he actually did it, dude. He fucking sneezed on my window.
It created a
Do you
job
understand
for
how
himself.
good that move is?
I'm sorry, I've come in halfway through. Whatever.
There's COVID. A guy's washing my window. I'm like trying to wash it. I'm like, almost fuck off. And then he sneezed on the window. And then I was like, give it a wipe then, you fucking dirty dog with COVID. Where's his mask as well, the piece of shit?
He's homeless, bro.
He's fucking sneezing COVID on my car.
What?
But I actually had it with, because I'm in a bad mood at the moment.
Is that why you haven't been on?
Mate, I haven't been doing anything for
You've
months.
been saying no.
I've just been like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, but I'm giving evil stares to people. I went to Warwick Shops The trolley guy took a bit long, and I stared at him. Do you know when you give them the death stare? Like,
I've never done it to a trolley boy.
I hope you get cancer. But I thought I won't pick up on that because he was fucking around. But then I came back and he had scratched my car.
Oh,
he fucking got me.
Karma.
I didn't even have a verbal exchange. He could just tell by my look. Like I was looking at him like it was a fart in the lift. So just staring at him.
Fuck, that's
and he
brutal.
Scratched it, dude.
But have you found that all these homeless or whatever, I think they're drug addicts. I don't actually think, well, maybe they're both. Have just started migrating, like Game of Thrones, like migrating further north from the city. That each traffic light just keeps pushing north.
It is weird, man, because the pigeons haven't followed them, eh?
That's Home Alone, eh?
The pigeons know to stay near like the populated area.
Yeah.
But once you get here, you get aggressive, man, because you would start to get to know the people face to face. Do you know in the city? You get to know a few regulars, but most people just think, oh, he must have had a rough night.
Yeah.
You know, they don't realise.
Talking about you or?
Well, for me. Dude, I tell you, because you get to know.
Like, there's that homeless guy that lives down the comedy lounge alley.
Dude, I actually had that.
Why is he screaming at people? No, that's fine.
I actually had that. I saw someone I'd hooked up with at the shops.
Which one? Who? The trolley boy?
No, some random girl. But she looked at me like I was homeless. She was like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, this is who I am. I said, that fucking gelled hair with the button shirt is just for the gigs, man. Otherwise I just dress like a homeless
for the gigs?
No, I don't gel, but like I look more presentable.
Reasonable.
She was like, what the fuck?
We were in trackies.
What happened to you? Well, I saw you a week ago. Yeah. And I was just basically like going, yeah.
You just cough on her window.
Dude, and you know, as soon as you're in the shops, like security's following you.
Yeah.
You know when they're looking,
this is unrelatable for me.
Do you not have that?
No.
As soon as I go in shops, people are looking at me, hey, like I'm pocketing stuff. The only thing that saved me was having kids. Like, it's less likely. But previously, I used to, as soon as you enter the shop, you're getting tagged. Like in the football.
Do you ever feel weird? You've got kids, so do you ever feel weird when you're like walking with your kids in the shops? And I'll do it constantly. Scotty will lag behind. I'll be like, come on, Scotty, come on. And I feel like if someone else is looking and they don't know I'm the dad. I look like I'm luring a kid into a fucking.
Come on, little girl.
Come on
Happens
over
to
here.
me all the time when I ask kids to come with me.
Dude, do you do anything dodgy with your kids? Because when I went down south.
What's the dodgiest thing I do?
I went down south and my sister's more conservative, and my boy was like, yeah, we went to the Royal Show. Dad snuck us in.
That's good.
And I was like, no, we didn't snuck it. And he goes, yeah, you did, remember? You went through the staff thing. And I go, yeah. It was a bit of a laugh, wasn't it, boy? You remember you dug through the dirt and got staff tags, put it on your hand and dragged us through?
How did you get in? You just
no, what I do at the show, you get the disregarded tags.
What do you mean?
When people come out, they throw them on the ground, and then you just got to go to the gate and match the colour. But there's golden ones that are basically golden ones are for staff, or there's certain colours, and that's the best place because it's not regulated because you're coming in with goats and cakes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They're like, fuck off. They're coming in with a fucking wand and some bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're not monitoring this that much.
Wand.
So no, but you know what I mean? That goat shit, or I've baked a muffin or some fucking shit. Yeah. But then those ones are the easy gates because, you know what I mean? It's not security.
That's how Tash Peterson got in, I heard.
Yeah.
We were lining up together, hey? No, but then occasionally you can get the normal one, but it's more checks. Because then you're going through proper security and they're expecting it. Do you know? Because the guys behind you are from Rockingham and they're doing the same thing. And you're like, you're fucking blowing my cover.
And you've got the security guard from the shop still following you.
There's a guy from Coles that's followed me the whole way. But man, I wish I could have got this trolley boy. Yeah. Because I tried to get the camera footage. Do you know? But they won't pursue it.
Do you think you did it by purpose, or was it like something you noticed after giving the trolley boy the stairs?
I don't know, man, because I'm trying to sell that car. and I was like, I'll park it away from people. And it was near the op shop bin. Yeah. And when I came back, there was no other cars there. Yeah. Do you know? And it was an empty thing.
It's called a hit and run.
And there was just a scratch.
Yeah.
But fuck. I don't know, man. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm not getting the footage. But I know,
you're gonna be the biggest
where
person.
I'm going to find out where that trolley boy fucking parks.
So you're not going to do the high road.
I'm not going to do the high road. I said I want to get the CCTV and ping him. So he's going to pay for it.
You can't scratch his push bike.
Instead, he's going to come back and his little scooter is going to be fucking bent over my knee.
It could be worse. I parked my car near no one when I first got it brand new, and Gerard Moreno
I can't believe that.
fucking
Is there
just reversed into it like
you've
nothing
told
else
it.
around.
Yeah. Have is this apart from the Rourke show? Is there something that you feel like if you told people what you let your kid do, they'd get a bit almost angry at you?
Well, man, I was talking about those COVID tests. No, I'm not going to do that.
Well,
those tests.
So for
Dude,
me,
I actually got shot. Yeah, go on.
for me, mine is like I on the odd occasion let my 4-year-old daughter
Shit on the lawn.
sit in the front seat of my car.
I do that as well.
Like just
short journey.
short journey, yeah. Just
And man, your parents lose their mind when you come up the street.
Yeah,
and
like-
he's in
like-
the driver's side seat.
especially.
And he sits.
But I understand. I completely understand why it's not appropriate.
gives a
Two
fuck?
things. Two things. She's fucking reaching over, touching all the
They
buttons.
love it, man.
Wanting to change the channel. So fuck that. I want my channel on. And then, but yeah, it is
I
distracting.
like them to be able to see all the buttons. It's good for their
that-
mind.
and if it's late in the afternoon, the sun goes fucking right in their eyes, and she's just like, "Sun, sun."
You got a vampire.
It's-
Mate, because did you hear they're getting cameras now that can check
Yeah.
at the lights if you're on your phone?
Yeah, I'm bad for that.
And everyone in Perth's going, it's brilliant. I've seen people on the freeway.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, they're not catching you on the freeway. They're catching you at idle in a car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
waiting for the lights.
Yeah.
When all the major deaths happen and
Yes.
crazy,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you're just checking your phone or getting a text to
See,
see if
and-
the address has changed.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're pinging you there. There's no cunt on a bike catching you when I text
Yeah.
at going 120 down the freeway.
So
where you're like, I want to kill myself.
So generally, I'm not great with it on my phone.
I do it all the
I
time,
know
man.
it's not good, but I do it from
Allegedly.
Time to, no, I do
Well,
from time
it's
to
too
time.
late, dude. It's in the past. They
Yeah.
haven't caught us.
But the biggest issue I had was the other day. I was actually just Google Maps. I was looking for a place, and I was looking down at my phone for the Google Maps, and a guy pulled up next to me and fucking was like, get off your phone. And I didn't get angry in return.
I get angry, man.
I would have just gone, I'm on fucking Google Maps. I'm looking for an address. Like, what's the
You're
difference
trying to
between
explain to them on the
GPS?
freeway?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
just trying to,
Google Maps.
he's just trying to
Literally,
wash his
again,
window.
pulled
And
up
he
at-
just thinks you called him a cunt and
pulled up
pulls
at
over.
lights as well. Pulled up at lights, not moving. But I knew that 10 minutes prior I was actually
Dude.
on my phone, and I was like, well, fuck, he's still sort of making a point. I should be off my phone regardless.
man. I get
but-
them at the lights yelling at me. You're on your phone. I'm like, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean?
Do you know what the best
At the
rebuttal to
light
that is?
stationary, if someone yells at me, like, I'm like, I'm getting out of my car now. Do you know what I mean? Are you fucking serious?
That's happened to me
If
before.
someone yelled at me and I was sitting stationary, I would get out of the vehicle. Hey.
Well,
Don't you think?
It happened to me, and this is the best rebuttal you can do. It's just like, yeah, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, yeah, you shouldn't. And just fucking like they drove off, but they zoomed off like very dangerously. They're doing the opposite of what they're just like having
Dude,
a
the
crack
best
at you
is
for
to
being.
catch them further down the road and you're still next. You know what I mean? And you're like this.
He's closing his
Your
eyes,
answer.
listeners, with his hand over
I
it.
used to do that when I was like post-divorce. I got into this game where you drive home from the gigs and you see how long you can shut your eyes for.
Oh, that's called
Have you done
Russian roulette.
Have
on
I done
Australian
that before?
roads.
Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah,
you're
but
on a
not
freeway and
not
you're
after
like
a gig.
because it's a straight road and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you can get up
Fuck,
to like
window
12.
wiper.
Dude, the rush. You're on a highway. You're 120. Your
I know,
eyes are shut.
I know. I've done it.
It's like holding your breath under the pool because it starts off as 1 or 2 seconds, and then you're like, "Fuck,
I can go
I
further."
need fucking 6 seconds.
Yeah.
That's like 800 meters.
That's
Dead at
Aussie
the
roulette.
wheel.
Aussie
Dead at the
roulette.
wheel.
Because we don't have
Dead
guns,
at the
we use
wheel.
our vehicles.
Yeah,
Dead at the wheel.
Don't let that be foreshadowing.
But dude, I have had it. I have had it with the phone where you get woken up and you're like,
Dude, you need to-
what the fuck? Because you just about come off the road and hit a post, and you're like, fuck, you idiot, you
okay.
idiot.
You
And all you're texting is some dickhead that's going, did you see my set?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, fuck
Can
off.
you change your handle, please?
Yeah,
What
from
to?
Because that's
dead
now
at the wheel
maybe dead at the wheel.
to something else.
It's that foreshadowing shit
Everyone's
happens,
gonna
man.
die some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I hate it when I'm closing my eyes, texting, driving. That's the worst part. There's not much I can do.
But don't you think that death is a good thing?
We do need. We've
No, but
talked
I
about
think-
this with
I
you
think
before.
Every time
We
my
said
mum
it-
hears a podcast, she goes, "Can you ask Andrew if he's okay?"
Is he
No,
okay?
but I'm saying society's got it in their head that they're not going to die.
Yeah,
That
we
was
know-
up-
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I
yeah.
was tweeting about it, and it was that because we always talk
While
about
you're
the
driving?
vaccine and COVID was the idea that Do you know most deaths happen in a car? So you taking your kid down the shops to get a milk is unnecessary risk if you're being realistic.
Yeah.
You can easily walk there to jeopardize your kids. Do you know what I mean? For one fucking pint of milk, it's an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Is reckless because statistically, do you know, it's close to your house where you crash.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like that logic could creep into everything we do.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happened with COVID? Is like they could die if they leave their house. This could happen. But it's the same with, you know, even driving. It's reckless for you when the shops are walking distance to drive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
No one's
risk.
fucking hamming on about that.
It's
'Cause
reckless
they're all
for me to
fat,
play
lazy
golf.
fucks.
Yeah.
You don't see any of those nerds doing it. If you put it in their head and go, well, it's on you. If you kill your kids, I warned you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you forebode it,
Yeah.
then for the rest of their life, this poor
Oh,
bitch
what if you're
has
walking
to walk
what
to
if you-
get her shopping?
What if you're walking to get a milk and then and as a pedestrian you get hit by a cunt with his eyes closed trying to see how far he can drive?
Dude, because you know what? It actually happened. It actually happened. My ex did it because we were going to Bali.
Good call, back.
Well,
And
she
then
hit you.
Then she would go like, no, I wanted to go to Bali with my kids. And she goes, it's unsafe, something could happen. But as soon as someone said that, you can't go anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because if I come back with my kid in a wheelchair, she go, I fucking warned you. I told you it was unsafe. Instead, she took them to Mandurah Caravan Park. Hey, have you been down there? I was telling you on the phone, one of the saddest moments, man. There were people living like permanently in there.
Yeah.
My kids went there for a holiday. I'm like, she's got a proper job. I don't know why we're slumming it to this level.
I think
Do you know what I mean?
Mandurah Holiday Park is more unsafe than Bali.
Oh, dude, I was immediately hanging around. I set up the tan. I did everything because I thought like it's a matter of time before they're molested. And then I was thinking I want to hang around the caravan park and just watch to see
but
if
then
they're
people
safe.
are like, who's this bloke hanging around,
But then
around the kids?
it's my ex. My ex. He won't.
Come on.
Come on.
And also she'd be like, my ex, he's not over me. But I'm actually just going like, fuck. I just want to be there to save them in the showers. And just go like, fuck off. The window wiper's in there with them. You motherfucker. You scratched my car. You spat on my window.
Did they have a good time though?
Dude, you know what? The best time. And this is the funniest part of class and the stigma. One of the great trips, and then I realised we didn't grow up with that much money.
Yeah.
And they're the best people ever.
Yeah.
Because the egg hunt would have ruled. Everyone would have been fun.
Yeah.
No one had money. There was no pretentious fuckhead doing
yeah.
their hair. They would have just wandered around and, caused trouble.
Yeah, we did that when we were younger, Mandurah trips all the time. We
Dude,
didn't
and
have
it's
much
actually
money.
the poorer the group, the more fun.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You just enjoy doing shit, man.
Because in more formal settings, you feel like you got to have dinner attire. You go, I'll put on my collared shirt.
Yeah.
In a camping
Gel your
site,
hair.
they're like, people ask where the showers and go, fucked if I know. I haven't showered before that. I just tried to piss up the front of my stomach to wash the dirt off. Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And everyone stinks and you don't care.
Yeah.
It's that famous scene on the Titanic always captured it, eh?
What's
the
that?
blow deck dancing. The
Oh, yeah,
time of your life.
yeah.
And the formal, you got to start on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, T? The
Yeah.
pretty woman scene.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
That's a great analogy.
That's what you realise. Like, there's no
And then
joy
they all
in
died.
money, man.
And they all died.
They all died anyway.
Captain was closing his eyes and he hit a fucking
But do you
iceberg.
realise, because this is a bit I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
it's all your framing. Like, money, none of it even matters. It's like Nelson Mandela when he was in Robben Island
Yeah.
would have not been imagining he was there. Hey? Do you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
And that, what I'm saying
His
is,
vision was
Mandurah
outside.
camping park with meth heads can actually be the time of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't even need money. You can be happy immediately.
This is where that like messaging that I started out with this podcast and with everything was I was like, oh, you got to chase your passions. And it still is a sort of a central theme for this podcast. Like chase your passions, do what you can to be happy. But I've now gone like full circle realizing you don't need to. Like you can be happy no matter what. It's all a matter of perspective
that's it, man.
and what
and how you frame your life.
Yeah, and being having gratitude for whatever you've got already. And
You can be on the bus and go like, how good's this shuttle, the limo service?
Yeah, how
and
nice
there's
is
some
it?
other people.
How
And
nice
we're
is it
letting
just-
some homeless people have lifts as well, and you're like, we're
Yeah.
just being generous.
how nice is it finishing work at 3 o'clock on a fucking Friday and not having to think about work for the rest of the week?
How kind is
All
this?
right,
your dog for a
you're
walk.
both got a loser's mentality.
I'm like, how kind is this place giving me money? Centrelink. But how kind of these people. I only have to fill out these forms and they're giving me drug money. I love this.
I'm not suggesting
this is fucking Santa every day.
I'm not suggesting that I've made a mistake by trying to chase my dreams because I remember sitting doing welding, listening to podcasts like this.
This sounds like someone that's not going to make their dream.
No, just like
it's denial, anger, and then acceptance.
Well, I just used to sit there thinking, like, I wish I could be out there doing something like this instead of doing what I'm doing right now. And now I've got it. I'm sort of like, fuck. There's a sort of another side to that way of life. That's also the security. I guess it's just shutting off when you finish. But it's again, I'd still prefer to be doing what I'm doing now. I'm just now realizing I didn't need to do that in the first place to be happy.
Delby summed it up so well. It just like you can have it immediately. You just lower your expectations. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you don't. Everything's available to everyone in the first world. Yeah. It's all, and then you're all hanging around going, "Oh, Netherlands is better," but I'm like, "Fuck off! It is." You're still living in the suburbs in a cage, and you're never there. I drive past, you're not there because you're working to pay off the holiday house.
Yeah.
And then it's
the
like...
neighbours are all fucking
even your boss eats lunch in the same building, the fat fuck. He acts like he's elevated, he's got a view, but he's eating his sandwiches alone.
Yeah.
And you're going off, slagging him off down at the Thai restaurant, going, what a pussy. He's such a loser. But you know what I mean? Like, there's no real elevation anyone.
Yeah, no expectations, no...
I even found it when I had money, man, because... all the tradies own their house outright. So they're in Rockingham and they own like one or two with cash. And they go, how well are you doing? And I'm like, none of them are. They own 80% to the bank.
Yeah.
It's all an illusion. And they're like, how the fuck did you afford that? And they're like, we don't own it, man.
Yeah.
National Australia Bank does it. And they send a letter to see how long your life sentence is.
How's the like the full circle? You start out not being able to afford the house.
Yeah.
Then you get to the point where you buy the house. And then when you get so rich, you don't buy houses, you just lease houses.
Oh,
you stop buying houses.
What do you mean?
So they like the real uber mega rich, they don't buy houses, they just lease the land, lease their cars. Yeah, well, none of them own anything.
You would have heard the Elon Musk interview.
So they can't be taken from
so it's like it goes from like you want to get there, and then you get so rich that you fucking don't even want it.
Dude,
You're just like, I'll lease a new one next week. Like,
Elon Musk is obviously, he works as a mechanic in a big factory.
Yeah.
That's his dream. And then he's abandoned all...
Yeah, he doesn't own anything, hey?
And he did an interview, and I know he was hamming it up because he's so rich and people are going to stab him.
Yeah.
But he was saying, when he just sleeps on mates' couches now. And Grimes was talking...
his mates have $1 trillion house.
Yeah. The couch is fucking...
And he does what I was just talking about. He just leases a house for a year.
Grimes was saying he's the poorest rich man I've ever met. She said he lives like a dog. Like he just peanut butter sandwiches.
Really?
Lies on the couch. Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that.
Have you seen him trying to buy Twitter?
He did.
It's done?
Yeah, he bought 9% and now he's basically holding him hostage.
Yeah, but now he's trying to like...
No, and you know what he did? He tweeted "Love Me Tender," which is...
bullshit.
He wrote "Love Me Tender," which is a hint that he's going to do a tender process because they blocked him.
Yeah.
Because of a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is now he's going to offer... to the shareholders a price, a tender process which bypasses the
Explain
the
that
board.
let's break that down. So the news that's happened is Elon Musk has offered $54 or $45 a share, which is I think a 20% excess on what he bought them for.
But
to everybody to buy the company,
and that was his tweet. Love me tender. I don't think it's happened yet.
No,
he's going to do it in the next week or two.
Explain what you're saying. So he bought 9% of the company, right? So he bought he did it on the sneak.
Yep.
Yeah. And normally what would happen is the board will get presented with like a takeover offer, and then present it to the shareholders and say we endorse it or we don't.
Before he's even taken that over, though, he's just taken 9%. So then they were going to offer him a spot on the board, and he turned that down, or they said they don't want him. Then he said, I want to offer this amount of money, which is about $15.
I think it was $54.
$54, which was a 20% increase on the share to buy everyone's.
Yeah.
So he's put it to the board, I want to buy everyone's. So now if I'm a shareholder, I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to make my money.
No, but they've rejected, they blocked that.
The board did.
And now he's going around it and he's doing a tender process.
Yeah. So I'm trying to explain for people that don't know. Right? So people that don't know.
Fucking read a book, cunt.
So he's offered that. And what that does now, it puts them, Twitter, in a position where if they say no to him, the shareholders will be fucking furious, but they're so woke and fucking left that they're like, oh, well, we don't want to deal with him because he's going to open up free speech on Twitter.
Dude, how amazing is them admitting
Yeah.
that we don't want free speech?
Yeah.
Like, what a moment to sit on a board and go like, actually, you know, is it the Fifth Amendment? What's free speech?
Yeah.
One of the fucking things.
Yeah.
And they're effectively going, hey, yeah, we never wanted it to be free speech.
And the funny
thing
thing is they're saying it's dangerous that an oligarch has the power to control
He doesn't have the
not censor it.
And you know what he's planning
but
to do?
It's fine for Zuckerberg to do it.
And you know what he's doing?
Because he's lefty.
Yeah.
He's going to buy it and then hand the keys back to
Everyone.
people as an act of humanitarian.
I think, you know how they were saying Jesus is coming back? I think he has, and it's Elon.
Oh, Elon.
So what's the tender thing, though?
Is that, hey, how about a laugh now and again, mate?
So explain the tender
Tesla,
thing.
yeah, so now the tender, so...
We haven't heard the full... It's just
he
been
dropped a hint.
insinuated because he said, love me tender. And I love these little threats because this board would be reading it and going, oh, they'd know what he means, saying, love me tender. And they'd be like, ah.
Yeah.
So what's putting a tender in mean? Because if they have, I don't know if they've rejected his offer yet.
Well, I think what it means is he can just scoop out individual shareholders. They can come direct to him outside of the board's control. And then obviously once he hits 51%, that board is fucking terminated.
So let's say us...
And then he can put the whole thing potentially private or keep it listed. But I think he'll basically, at 51, he goes into the meeting and goes, get the fuck out of office.
Did you see?
And he goes, if you've got a problem about it, tweet on it.
Yeah.
Because you can now say whatever you want. So slag me up on Twitter, hey.
Join me in the lunchroom for a peanut butter sandwich on the bottom floor, you dogs.
Dude, what an amazing man, though, hey.
Yeah.
I did see he said that the board of directors gets paid out, I think it was 21 million or was it 21 billion?
Probably Bill.
We'll just say 21 million for argument's sake. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it was $21 million is paid out to the board. And he said the first thing he does is terminate that ongoing payment to the board of directors.
Straight away.
So they won't be getting a profit out of being on the board.
Yeah.
I love the thought because I don't think they can do anything. I think it's going to go to him.
By getting that 9%, he's fucking...
He doesn't have the assets to do what he's saying. Like, he's going to get other people to fund it as well.
Their share price...
do you know what I mean? Because the amount of money, I think, to do that would potentially wipe him out. But I think he's going to get other parties that are interested in free speech to chip in.
Yeah, because there's already like platforms like Rumble, platforms like Parler. Parler tried, but then they got they got fucked over.
Dude, it's like this great moment in the office lunchroom where you got a dickhead boss and everyone's laughing and then someone yells, shut the fuck up. No one likes you. And then people clap and it's like, you broke him. You know, like we were saying with Putin. If Putin said, arrest everyone, and then everyone said, no, we're not going to. Fuck you. That's the moment he loses power.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The moment that the group reject you, your authority, you're over. Because that what could happen for Putin, right? If they were doing riots and then he said, okay, arrest them all. And then they basically said...
people in Russia?
Yeah, and then the police just said, no, we're not going to.
The police won't, though.
Then he's immediately...
The police don't do it here.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny, though? Elon was talking and they go, he's the richest man. And he goes, fuck, richer. I don't know. You know how he talks.
Yeah.
But he was
It's a strange accent, hey?
He said, Putin's the richest man in the world by a fucking long mark.
Yeah.
Is this... So am I wrong? Did I read right that the Russia backed their dollar with gold?
Yeah. Do you know about this?
I won't. We'll do
But I did hear something. I did hear
Yeah.
something that happened for the first time ever. Normally, when people buy oil, it's denominated in US dollars, and they settle it in US dollars.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, China and India did it in the rupee, and they did it in the yen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is it yen for China?
Fuck,
I think it is.
that-
Fuck. Yen's fucking
Chinese yen.
Japanese, man.
Yuan.
What am I
Japanese
talking
yen.
about?
Japanese yen. Chinese
Dude,
one?
how bad?
Am I wrong?
All my life advice come from memes and Twitter feeds. This is probably something I got off the
yuan, Y-U-A-N.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the first time ever.
One Chinese yuan is 0.21 cents.
That's right.
Cents.
But that used to underpin, because oil is everything, right? And it was always denominated in US dollars. All contracts were settled.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, because they've been printing money, people are like, I don't want to fucking hold US.
Yeah.
But this is what you spoke about on that pod a few weeks back.
Yeah.
That's the first sign of the handing over, the end of the
Power.
US.
Yeah.
It's a massive moment because they put that in place, and that's what made the US so strong, was that all contracts, Russia doing a deal with China would do it in US dollars.
Yeah.
And that's gone now, which is fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
It has a massive bearing on the
Yeah,
US.
yeah.
Because it's effectively, they've been written off as a third world country.
I heard Elon.
People are like, we don't want your fucking inflation's through the roof. Yeah. Your debt's too big. I'm not holding your shit junk currency.
Yeah.
It seems
Elon offered to buy Twitter in ruble.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, Elon he's so tempting on crypto because that Dogecoin, you're just continually looking, going like, it's worth a punt. Elon gets on the weed again. He'll fucking say he's replacing the US currency with Doge.
Just by buying the 10%, the stock price went up huge, didn't it? Like, wasn't it?
It's because it's Elon.
Yeah, but and that's happened before as well. Did you see he fucks with the market? He just does what he wants. He's at that point where he plays games to see what he can do. When he sold all his Bitcoin. Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah.
And it plummeted in prices. Everyone shat themselves because they thought this genius has just sold everything out. Yeah. But then he sold other people's. It wasn't just his. It was his other. Yeah.
Do you know his brother?
No.
That's what's crazy. His brother His brother, I think, is a billionaire by his own device from the PayPal transaction. Yeah. He's just
was he part of the system?
Yeah, he's just not as big PR.
Yeah.
But he's getting chased by SEC right now for insider trading because on that tweet, he sold a day before. But the thing is, he made like 2 mil and he regularly trades. And Elon was like, what are you talking about? Do you know how much this guy's worth? You reckon he's going to go lick his lips to lock 2 mil? He drops 2 mil down the back of a fucking sofa, you moron. He's transacting every day and they're like, he would have messaged you to make $8 million profit. They're like, 8 million's a fucking mil. Well, it's not for Elon because he just has peanut pasties. But they're trying to pin. But the thing is, he's got so much money, you can't really prove anything.
Yeah.
Because there's no real material transaction for him. So it's like, but they did do that with Rifkin, though. He got pinned for a $5,000 profit on Telstra. Renee Rifkin. He did one trade for $5,000. He made a $5,000 profit on Telstra, and they proved that he had heard that over lunch and sold. But the guy was turning over $1 million of stock. And they got him for it.
And how long did he do?
They could prove that he knew. He did 2 years, but it was one of those classic, one of those.
2 years for $5,000.
I didn't even know the currency of China. So let's give it. I said yen. Yeah. One of the most racist things possible. Yen, it all looks the same, all the currencies. But no, he had one of those classic rich person deals. Do you know where he's like, he could go out during the day? Yeah. Do you know those ones where they're like, you're in prison? Yeah. And they go, you're going to go in the yard. No, I'm off to do my trade. Yeah. Day release. Yeah. So he'd go off and then like in a limo, have some lobster sandwiches. Yeah.
Some people call that a marriage, but.
Mate, I don't know how they get away with that.
That's like El Chapo, man. His prison and what's his name from Colombia? The big dog. Fuck, why is his name escaping me?
Escobar.
Escobar. Yeah, his prison was like home built. He built the prison for himself, which was just like a mansion. And then he was like, I'll do it, but I'm just going to do it in here.
Dude, imagine that.
Really?
Yeah. It's nuts.
You just go, okay, I'll turn Mexico into a prison. Put a big fence on.
Trump tried.
Imagine if you just said, okay, pick a country and we'll make that a fucking prison. They're all employees who can bring me drinks.
Well, there is a place like that. Sorry, Branch.
No, it's all right. Where was that place? Was it Colombia. Marching Powder? Colombia. Marching Powder? Same?
No, that's Bolivia.
Oh, okay.
Colombia. You know what? Their whole move was tunnels. Yeah. Everything. Like the whole drug run over the border was all tunnel based, which showed how they did so well exiting that jail because that's all they've been doing.
That was the Mexican one, El Chapo.
Yeah, El Chapo got out, but I'm saying that they were well experienced doing that because they just had millions of tunnels running across the borders to the US, and then it would just appear inside someone's house, and they would be paid off, and then it would just be running out, and like if they scanned it, dude, it would look like an aero bar. I reckon there's fucking tunnels everywhere.
It's not a prison bar.
If they could scan down, they'd be like, what the fuck? There's millions of tunnels.
There's an island in America, I think, or Cuba somewhere, where they send all their sex offenders to live forever. So that is the jail. It's like Alcatraz for the worst sex offenders.
Really?
215 prisoners.
Dude, imagine that, and you could have like...
They live their life there.
You could have Borat running at the Jew and put one kid to run.
In what country?
On Easter as a celebration.
It's not Pamplona, it's Pamplona.
It's just like a group of kids that sprint through and they go scared straight and go like, I bet you do your homework now.
It's Kid Game, not Squid Game. Just
imagine rather than going to prison, you got to run that island.
Fuck.
And they go, like, I'm not going to vandalise cars every game.
I literally read it.
In America?
Yeah, I think it's either America or Cuba.
Fucking hell.
Dude, I love...
Have you been to Alcatraz? That's such a weird...
man.
I was an extra in the TV series for Alcatraz.
I remember you saying
Were
that.
you really?
Yeah, legit.
What TV series?
It was called Alcatraz.
I've never heard of this shit. There's only a movie.
When I
The
lived in-
Rock? You idiot.
This is Fat Delby.
Sam Neill was the lead. I was the...
Dude, where was it filmed? At Rottnest? What are you talking about?
I was in
brother?
Vancouver when I was in Vancouver.
And you were in an extra?
Yeah, I was an extra.
Can you find yourself, you know?
Bro, I've watched it back and I look like a fucking pixel. That's
It's
it.
tiny.
I'm in the background and they blew
Let's
me.
find it.
Dude, because
blew me
I
out.
got on the Maury Povich show and it was one...
Did you really?
Yeah, but
What?
they filmed...
What?
No,
In the
not
crowd or on
but
it?
I yelled something.
You're like,
They
this
filmed-
next guy closes his eyes on freeways and drives.
They
You
filmed-
are not a father.
Mate, imagine telling... I love that on Perth now. And they go like, it's so good.
You went on Maury Povich.
As an audience,
No, but
right?
imagine on Perth now, and they go like, these phones are reckless. I go, forget phones. I close my eyes on the Mitchell Freeway. I've lasted 16 seconds, and they're like, who is he? Find his IP. And I'm like, fuck phones. Close your eyes when you're driving on a straight road for a laugh. But man, Maury Povich, they film like 3 episodes. You get free food.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I never worked out which ep it was. And then I ended up having to start
'Cause they're all
watching
the same.
Maury Povich. And I still sometimes look. And then I'm like, now I'm addicted to Povich. I'm watching fucking hours of Povich. I'm like, you are not the father. I'm like, where's my fucking clip?
Did you
I
watch-
said something about someone's hair. I want it.
Did you stand up or did you just yell it out?
No, I think I just talked. Do you know, like they bring the
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But what I'll say to you,
This is
Doug's-
incredible.
All right,
Dude,
we need the listeners to try find
No,
Wolfie.
no.
What did you say?
I can't fucking remember.
What was the
man.
episode?
Doug Stanhope was on as a guest of Springer, paid guest. But you know the other.
So wait,
hang on,
Jerry
Jerry
Springer,
Springer.
Maury Povich.
Which
No, I was on Maury Povich.
So what?
They gave you free pizza, and also the guy said, "You after he goes, mate, we got some great shots of you. You're pulling some weird faces because I was doing the opposite reaction. So the crowd would go, yeah, and I'd go like, boo, and then when they'd go like, boo, I'd go like, you get it, man. You fuck whoever you want, boy. Do you know how to do it? Because I knew like by being the opposite, I would stand out. So
You're a fucking genius, bro.
so I'd be clapping when they go like, you're going to have to leave his wife. And they're all crying. And I'm like, yeah. Because I knew like it would be just being a jarring cup. But he said, mate, we got some...
You've got AIDS. Woo!
But dude, because I'm trying to think of those cameos because I have one cameo of me. The only other good cameo I have was Telethon.
Yeah, okay. What'd you do?
Did the same thing. We raised $18 million.
This is our telethon kid. Woo!
Telethon.
We're all
Fuck
gonna
that
die.
We were drunk
Put
at
him on the island, run into the kids.
All that money goes to a fucking cheap fucking channel somewhere else.
No, we were drunk. At a party, and then I was like, "Dude, telethon's on.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go and fucking stir shit up." And it was a fancy dress party. I was in a Superman outfit, and I put like a goon bag down the front. We got to the Channel 7.
They
Channel
thought
7
you were the
And
heroes. Like,
then-
Superman's here.
Dude, I'm dressed as Superman, but then I thought, because I'm drunk, I thought I had to sneak in there. So I was trying to climb the fence and get in. I thought I've got to fucking break in to get on camera. And then they go,
You're looking for
a
wristbands.
security goes, like, what are you doing, dude? You line up there. Everyone's allowed on. You're allowed on. So I'm like, yeah. So I had a goon bag. I'm sucking piss from it. Like, "Lah." But it was the worst, man, because we went out there and it was like maybe 1 o'clock, you know, so no one's watching it, and
yeah.
they get some fucking kids troop with a fucking dog
Yeah,
or
yeah,
some
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, from the
you know,
royal
when
show.
they go like, well done. I'm like, fucking become a secretary, you suck. Do you know what I mean? It's just awful people.
Yeah, just positive vibes. Yeah.
Do you know where they're like jazz? Oh, well done.
Yeah.
We'll remember that forever. And I'm like, everyone hated it.
Yeah.
She's awful. It was out of time. But I went in there and then the mates were there and I'm like, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So she was singing and then I just walked onto the stage and I started like dancing as Spiderman around.
Hang on, were you Spiderman or Superman?
No, it's Superman. Sorry, I've got to get this right.
Yeah.
But I think I have the footage of that, but it was the worst because no one reacted. The camera just turned away from me. And I asked. And then there's a camera. They took, because they got multiple cameras. So they just don't film you. And you're just like this. And she's like, are you all right? And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm done. Like no one intervened. I petered out humiliated. And she was like, yeah.
That's the
and
best
like
way.
Whoa! And like, they're not filming me, and I'm like, okay, I guess I go back to my seat, and then just sat down.
So
but
just
there's footage
average
of me on TV as Spiderman, Superman,
Just average man. No,
Average
not
man.
even Superman.
Dude, but what a pathetic thing, because it's sort of like if a streaker. One of the dream moves you could do for a streaker is not intervene. And just stand there and stare at him and wait until he leaves. So he's naked. This is why they always get a rise, because the security chase them. But what happens if the games just stop?
Yeah.
Everyone stopped talking and you just stare at him. And his dick's hanging out. And eventually he's just like, and now what? And he's like, oh, I guess I'll go back to my seat. Like no one talks. And then you just got to, imagine if you just gave it an extra minute.
Yeah.
And you didn't get that reaction.
Yeah.
And he eventually stood in the middle of the pitch naked.
Yeah.
And then had to slowly walk off. And no one said
Dick
anything.
in hand, just
Dick in hand.
Oh,
and then went
sorry.
back to his seat. No one gave him his clothes and he just sat there. And do you know what I mean? They didn't arrest him. And then he's just going to walk out with the crowd.
Yeah.
And just going, I'm sorry, I thought it'd be funny. They used to fucking chase you. I didn't know I'd be out there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was a dickhead.
That's good.
That's actually the best way to deal with it. If they did that once, no one would streak ever again.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, the
If
embarrassment.
you didn't have people
Well, it
tackling
depends.
you,
No, because-
grabbing your dick, you just stop the game. The whole everyone
Some
stood
people
with
get
hands on hips.
sponsored by it. Sometimes people get the sponsor, so it's free marketing.
Yeah.
For
Did
a
you
couple of years.
did you see the New Zealand rugby one the other day?
The chick that got spear tackled?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
good.
fucking butts.
Yeah, one.
That was a good
That was
tackle.
Wonder Where I Am woman.
It's
She
just
got
like,
fucking
bang.
just drilled.
Dude, that was powerful, eh?
Yeah,
No one streaked yet at the women's footy. Someone needs to
Yeah,
do
no,
that. A
Tash
guy?
Peterson did.
No, but a guy's got to do
women's
it.
footy.
Tash Peterson did, yeah.
Yeah,
The
right.
first Fremantle versus West Coast Eagles.
That talks about
Derby.
the
Yeah,
different
right.
the different bias. Imagine if a guy runs with his dick out at the women's footy, you'll probably go to jail for 4 years.
No, they probably
It's
just
like
think
a-
it was
it's
one
a-
of the players,
it's
Wolfie.
exposure. Do you know when a girl does
Ah.
that, they get a fine and they go like, we were.
Yeah, but does anyone actually run nude these days much? Like, it's more of a, like, people just run.
Yeah.
It's not often people
Sometimes,
get
yeah,
nude.
not.
People, I think, yeah, because I think
Only dumb cunts get nude.
I
and
think if you're
streak in
nude, you've
stadiums
done
and theatres and
indecent
stupid
exposure
shit.
effectively. Because have you seen, that's one of the great clips. It's a made up one, but it's a magician and he's like, he's tied up in the cage and he says, no, he's tied up in a, are you even listening? This guy's on his fucking phone.
Yeah, I've got
I'm
a.
wondering why the story's losing momentum. I'm like, one of the only people listening is texting someone going like, I hope the story
'cause
fucking goes somewhere.
Texas sent me the island, the name of the
Dude,
island.
this was the great
Oh, what
thing.
was it?
Yeah. So hang on, mate.
No, this was the great thing. He was standing there, and what happened, if he didn't free himself, his pants would be pulled down,
Yeah.
and he would go on the sex register because there were a group of kids watching. So he goes, if he does not unchain himself, he will expose himself to these 12-year-old kids and end up on the sex register for life. And it's him having to do that so he can hold his pants up or he'll pull his dick out. Anyway,
So it's a skit.
obviously the momentum has been wrecked.
Well,
by his
speaking of-
Whose
selfishness.
skit is this?
It's online. There are a lot of these fake. It might be Nathan and I or Nathan,
Yeah.
some fucking guy.
Well,
but he's done a lot of reality
He'd
ones.
end up on McNeil Island in Washington,
Ah.
which is where I
Oh.
was. The only residents.
I'm
are
glad we got that fucking.
214
geography lesson
dangerous
now.
sex offenders.
Give me
How many?
that.
Yeah, 214 dangerous sex offenders.
Dangerous.
And yeah, small island in the state of Washington, houses all, and they look like that bloke.
Shit,
So-
man. But And that's the number never drops. In prison, it's 214, 212, 211. Every shower break, 201.
Because they're all the same boat. No one fucks each other up. Have you seen the Impractical Jokers one where they stitch up Joe Gatto and he's a magician and they just leave him on the stage and everyone's just looking at him. He fails from getting out.
Oh, really?
So good, man. It's a real prank in Vegas. They're like, he's going to escape. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then they just left him there and he's just in the tank staring at 200 people going, what the fuck? And they left him until everyone left.
Dude, I like those ones that are super harsh like that.
So good.
There's one where a guy.
You guys love that show. I hate watching it because I feel so like.
I love it.
Like
Favorite.
Dude, there's one sketch that comes up.
Yeah, 100%.
I would love it, man. That made me laugh. The only thing that make me happy these days are prison docos and prank shows where people are getting seriously injured. Where someone's got a pipe in their ear going, Mamma mia, Mamma mia.
I hate that cut.
You know the one I like?
Who the fuck is that guy?
He's the chupapi.
I love it, man, because I often do that.
He loves the shit.
You know why I love it? Because I
the
used
one
to
you
do that.
shared the other day.
I used to do that just non-film. And just walk past some woman and go,
Did
you
you
like,
used to
what the fuck?
Did you used to watch Stuggy?
Hey?
Stuggy?
No, what's that?
You know, the guy who would be like,
That's what I love.
the English bloke? And he'd be like, raspberries.
Dude,
I'm going to go around having raspberries. Give me some raspberries.
Mate, I love that
Fucking
stuff.
so good.
Do you ever do it like in the toilet where you yell? In random toilets? You just howl, man.
Never.
I've done that
No.
so often. What? You hear someone get in the cubicle and you're like,
Sound like Tassie
and
Devil.
then you start banging and make random sounds and they're having a shit. Just going, who the fuck is in there?
I'd be literally
laugh.
shitting myself. Like,
Dude, because I laughed at this one and it was too harsh. It was a Uber driver. He picked up two girls and it was meant to be a werewolf. So the moon was out, but he started, and she goes, he started acting more and more weird, you know, on the trip. And they're like, are you all right? And he's like, and then he just deteriorated. Eventually, they're like, please, pull over. And he goes, we're there now. We're going to be there soon. And like started, and then he got a shotgun out and shot himself in the head.
bullshit.
He shot it, and it was stage thing. So
Yeah.
there was all blood on the thing. The girls are like, holy fuck. They're grabbing each other, crying, going like, this is fucking what the fuck. And then he gets out of the car and they're screaming. I've never seen so much terror. And then he bangs on the window and he's dressed like a werewolf. And then they go,
Gotcha.
there's a camera here and here. Jenny, Manny, you've been prank showed. And I was like, oh my God. These girls were almost like at death's door. They're like, ha, 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 ha. The guy's like, bang.
You know what's fucked?
And it's, dude,
Welcome
I
to Scare Tactics.
Welcome to Scare Tactics to the camera. How did you feel when I shot myself in the head on the road? So we're going 80 k's.
Oh,
and
at
I
least you
shot
weren't
myself
closing
in
your
the head.
eyes.
And she was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? You've been pranked by Jeff from The Office. Dude,
Was
from
that
finance.
Scare Tactics or was
no,
that
it was
a
just,
version
I
of
think
that?
it was that fake one again, where they
mate,
do
fuck.
crazy shit.
Yeah, I reckon that is for those girls for the rest of their life. Any dangerous situation, they're going to be like, "Where's the
Dude,
cameras?"
I don't think...
Yeah.
Because I tried to upload it and I think no one realised that it was all staged. Like, there's
Everything.
no way you can do that
But Scare Tactics
to a person.
Scare Tactics fucked up a lot of people, man.
Dude, remember that one, the rat in the bottle?
the little human rat. He comes out. Scare Tactics, but
It's a bastard! There was that gay guy.
yeah, man.
What did he yell? He yelled something. Hey, little man. Hey, little man.
There
Stay
goes-
away, little man. Are you okay, little man? Are you okay, little man? Who are you? And he's like, and then it went scurried along.
Yeah.
But dude, little people got treated badly then. Dressed up as a rat, telling your parents you're on TV.
I've seen that kid, the little fella, on something else. He was like, "Yeah, I was the rat in Scare Tactics." He reckons it was heaps of fun.
Dude,
But
it would've
man,
been so
if
funny.
you ever wanted to like murder someone or do something to someone, right, and they're getting scared, you just go, "Ha, gotcha! You're on Scare Tactics," and then they drop their defense, and you just go, "Boom!" Like it's done. They just
It's
go,
all a prank.
"Oh fuck, yeah!"
Come on, be serious. What's happening?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just a prank show.
and then
It's
bullets.
just a prank. Oh, mate. Dude, you got to find all these videos. How good's this
Yeah, I
pod now?
found it.
All
We've
we
got-
do,
Tex
we
can do it.
watch TikTok and then just talk and describe it really badly. Or they could just log on to TikTok. I'm like, you should see this video. A guy on roller skates. Do you know, like we're just recounting.
Friend Eric helped him get a job where he
Just
could
this-
work with
the
the
rap-
animals.
Yeah,
The
that's
rat
so-
kid.
I want to set Brian up on scare
brilliant,
tactics because I
man.
think it's going to be great. I think the particular skit
all
that
the
they're
way
going
at
to
the
do
end,
on
though. It's a
him
long
is
skit,
going to
right?
freak him out.
Okay,
I
I'll
might
go
even
towards
cry,
the
who
end.
knows?
Ladies and
It's when he
gentlemen,
comes
them
out.
out of here. Right.
That made me cry. That made me cry as a kid. What the fuck?
Are you scared?
Are you scared?
You shouldn't be in your scare tactics.
Oh, dude.
What is that fucking little rat man?
It's a little dwarf.
Dude, they're actually very lucky
It was a nightmare.
that you
Oh my
don't react
God.
violently because some people have that temperament.
One dude did when they were out driving out the desert and he pulled out the gun. The guy just jumped in from the back, started fucking smashing him in the head. He's like, "It's a prank! You're on scare tactics!"
Dude, because that actually happened to me when I broke my shoulder and they put me on general anesthetic. And when I woke up, I didn't know where I was and I started swinging.
Did you?
Yeah. They were like, they said you were just throwing punches.
What?
No, because I thought I was at a house party and someone was trying to take a photo of my dick. But what I was saying is, like, my reaction, it wasn't like a prank. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who put me in this fucking gown? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. And look, they said, look, you weren't fully conscious at that point. Like, they said, you got to be aware you have a very adverse reaction. Do you know, I don't remember this. I
Wow.
don't remember, but I was throwing haymakers and I had to get like 6 people to hold
You're
me
a
down.
large man as well, so like, that's,
Dude, I'm a
6 foot-
heavy man.
No, but you're like,
You know
what,
what,
6'3".
They
Like,
don't need to hold me down. Just give me like some nachos and cheese. Yum, yum, yum.
that'd be scary for a like,
Dude, it was
young
harsh.
nurse.
And you know what
Some
the worst
fucking-
is?
I love coming out of General Sick. It's so fun, man.
Dude, this was a 9 pin reconstruction. And it had to stay still. And I'm throwing haymakers with it.
Oh, fuck.
But you know what's actually happened the best? Have you had...
What physical activity did you do to fuck your shoulder?
do you know what happened? It was a Bucks night.
Oh,
A Bucks, and we're playing cricket.
As
and
Superman.
someone hit it over my head.
Yeah.
When I'm drunk, I'm competitive, and I launched backwards.
Yeah.
And landed like almost like a pole driver, like I did a
shit.
backflip into the ground.
Oh.
I went like that, took the catch.
Yeah.
And the worst part was, people said, "Nah, it's just dislocated," and they kept playing.
Just dislocated.
And I was like, a nurse looked at it, and I'm like, "Fucking hell, mate!" He goes, "It's fine, it's dislocated." I'm like, "Fuck you, man!" It was hanging down.
Yeah.
But it had to all be relocated.
What, you break your scapula or something?
It's fucked, man. Look.
So what,
It's
oh,
all-
jeez, yeah, right.
It's all been fucked
can't
up.
see.
There's still
got a
pins
big
in there.
scar
It
from
still
his
hurts
neck.
at night because
Oh,
I
we
didn't
both
get the
got left-
pins out.
We both
Really?
got left shoulder scar.
Yeah, man.
Well, you got pins in there.
I've got the whole thing was
Still.
fucking bung, and it's not even. Now I can't play golf. Well, I blame that. I go, you got a slice. I'm going, no, I've got an injury. I used to be a fucking Tiger Wood guy. But man, have you had the best drug is the wisdom tooth?
Ketamine.
Where you're on this, they don't put you under, but they put where you just forget everything.
Local anesthetic.
Well, it's like some breathing thing.
Oh, the breath one.
The breath one.
Nitrous
and,
oxide?
And you can't remember what happened, but you're awake on
I
the
don't think you went
chair.
to a dentist, buddy. I think
'cause
you saw one of those
that's-
guys on the island.
That's the laughing gas, basically. Hey?
When I
Nitrous
had
oxide.
no, it wasn't nitrous. It was something else. But I had that, and the dental nurse years later still spoke to me, and I didn't know what had happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What do you mean?
You
what
would
I'm
have said
saying,
some fucked up shit.
I had it, and then so I don't remember any of it. And then I said, "Thanks, guys." I'm spitting blood out. I walked out. But then weeks later, I saw the chick that was a dental nurse. She said, "Hey, how you going?" And was like really friend. Do you know, like
You
we had
became
a
friends.
full interaction. She goes, "It's so fun. You were great. Do you want to get a drink?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? I don't
the
know
fuck
you."
did you say?
No, but you're like, "I don't know you." And do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
thought like maybe this could be that's how I meet my soulmate. Yeah. I've got to be drugged up so I can finally be honest through my anxiety.
Mate, that's me at Stereosonic.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The drugs allow me to finally be real.
Yeah.
And they go like, normally I hide all that stuff. They go, you shouldn't. You're a great person. We love that. Everything you've been hiding is all your talents.
Yeah, yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, fuck. I've just got to be on MDMA so I don't hide my real self.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
But I don't know if it wasn't laughing gas. And now it sounds like it's made up, man. You know what the problem with stories? As they get older, the integrity weathers. Do you know, like a faded
'cause
photo?
they change a little bit.
And then it marginally probably changes.
Yeah.
Probably none
Just-
of this.
yeah.
But,
A little bit.
And then it doesn't sound as
it's-
believable. And you're like, when I used to nail this story You know, back when it happened.
Yeah.
It was airtight. I was like, do you know when like you ask Maury Povich, what did I say? And I'm like, I don't know. And then it's like, he's lying, man. Do you know what I mean? But if you asked me a week after, I would have said, your mama looks like a...
whatever.
You know, I would have known what the comment was.
It's like bits when you hear them after they're polished compared to what they first started as, and it's almost like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Where you go back
100%.
and you go, what the fuck? What is that?
That's why I'm not writing as much, because I realised I've gone back to stuff I've written, and the evolution of what you wrote to what ends up on stage, there's really no point. Do you know what I mean? Like what you originally wrote, that's all been dumped.
Yeah,
it was about a holiday to Bali, and it ends up about, you can reframe shit in your mind.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's not even Bali's dumped, the plane's dumped, and it's like, fuck, you're off on a tangent.
I'll find the photo for you. There it is, straight away.
What's this photo of?
This is when I was in Alcatraz, bro. So it's me.
Dude, let's see. Were you fat Delby
Yeah,
or skin Delby
yeah.
then? Dude, you look like the guy from Prison Break.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit fatter than him.
Dude, I just realised you look a lot like the fucking... Do people say that all the time?
Wentworth Miller back in the day.
And they say, show me your tattoo.
Until I got
I want to
fat.
find a way to escape this combo.
Yeah.
Why are you injured?
I was in a...
Kerfuffle.
someone blew me up.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the background. And
Dude, no wonder this show's not been heard of. Alcatraz, and there was an explosion.
So
It
have
was
you
so
actually
unbelievable.
been to Alcatraz?
No.
It's quite creepy.
Yeah.
Like
Where's
when-
it in? San Francisco?
Yeah, just off the coast there. And you can do like the interactive walkthrough stories of like
What were there fake criminals in
No,
there?
like,
Come
yeah,
in,
no,
little boy.
No, like you just put the headphones on and they talk you through like what happened in this cell and stuff like that, and the people who escaped from Alcatraz and stuff.
What was
and
the famous story? The guys that
yeah,
swam?
Three
so
of them are a little rough.
yeah, the way I can't for the life of me remember exactly
Didn't
how
he
he
write a
escaped, but,
message
like,
just before he died and said, we went on to live? I think he emailed Alcatraz and let them know
Someone
that he'd
said that
survived.
they did.
I'm sure they would have. They would, but like that water as well. That's a long way to swim to get onto the mainland. It's a long way.
It's cold as well, man, and the
Cold as
currents
fuck.
in that are
Great
deadly,
white
and it's
filled.
windy as
Is
shit.
there great whites there as well?
Yeah, because I think great whites are in the colder parts.
You'd be so pissed
Of
off.
the, and then
There are no great whites in...
yeah, and then the other one was
they are in the car, yeah.
yeah, and it was like they climbed up through a
dispute you.
chimney or something like that, and it was pretty
Dude,
fucking.
it's
and
the
one guy-
movie with Sly
I think that's Oliver
Stallone.
Twist.
Yeah. No, there was a whole. There's 3 or 4 different stories that you
Yeah.
can go through and check different cells of what happened in these certain ones, and it's pretty interesting. Maybe Tex over there knows a bit more about it. Our US producer.
Were you getting overly enthusiastic? Where was...
No,
tell us more about the shower stuff.
No, I was with one.
Where was he? Was he lying there? Was he smiling?
I was
grimacing?
with
What did he look like?
I was with 3 of my mates. One a mutual friend of ours, Lee, and Lee's too good for doing the commercial. Dude,
what do you
travel
mean? It's
stuff.
one of the great things you can do on a
Yeah,
holiday.
no, he came over, but he didn't want to do the headphones,
Dude,
so
he's
he
such a
made sure he just
fool.
went around. And I was like, I learned so much information, motherfucker. That was, and I'm the same. I
I
don't
love
like
how
to do
much
that.
you learn and you can't
Dude,
tell us any of it.
I did at the time.
I hate mates that go like that. I don't want to go on the
trip
guided tour.
That trip was 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
But it was,
your
yeah, that's
story's
right. He
faded.
doesn't want to do the guide.
Don't you hate the people
Yeah,
that go
exactly.
like, I
Remember,
don't want to do a guided tour? I'm like, it is one of the great days of your life. As
Well, I
soon as you
didn't-
start ripping into them and you say, and you get the crowd against the host,
But
and it
I've
becomes like
always-
live stand up.
Well, this isn't even
And you're ripping
guided.
joke-
This is literally it's
just
a
recorded,
So it's I think it operates on a GPS. So whatever room you go into, and it triggers whatever you're meant to be listening to, and then it,
Dude, I had that in
comes on
France.
over the
That big,
earphones.
and
be a-
Antoinette, and
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, her big castle or whatever, and you go in without the headset for
Yeah.
an hour, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as you got it in there, and they're like, this is with the marital bed, this was this, and
Yeah.
you're like, it's a fucking.
It's
The only
quite-
reason
it's
you
really
hate that
good, yeah.
is because of school. Because when you used to go then, they would say, remember, there's a 10-page report on this after.
Yeah.
So you spent the whole time just trying to write notes, and you couldn't just immerse yourself. As soon as you're like hungover and just cruising around with a cross on,
Yeah.
it's fucking fun, man.
Isn't that? Do you think that and that's interesting? You brought up the education system in itself. That's what they do. They teach you to remember instead of
Dude,
learn and work.
Delby
through
would
these sorts of
agree.
things. So I think for me that's the biggest issue with the teaching system.
Mate,
They're teaching you to remember the answers instead of
and
work through.
Delby's
it
got an
properly.
opinion.
Probably more the funding.
Do you know
Yeah.
what? You know what hit me though is a lot of the teachers failed the syllabus on first pass.
Yeah.
Then they go to uni and then they become an expert at it,
Yeah.
which then shows that the level of the syllabus is attainable for almost anyone. Because these people, like maybe it wasn't they worked.
Yeah.
But when you're in year 11, you're like, I can't fucking do this. I'm not a fucking doctor.
Yeah.
But then 5 years later, you become a teacher and you dominate physics and science and you
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
that almost anyone on this planet can become an A-grade student.
Yeah.
Is what I realized.
Yeah.
When I saw my teacher and I'm like, do you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
they struggled the first time, but they're all experts on the topic now, which means the ceiling of this syllabus is
Yeah.
attainable for almost everyone.
That's so true. It's just set at the wrong age, really.
That's it, man.
So the level's too high for. Well, you can. There's kids that achieve, but really, the amount of work and when you're 16 and 17, you couldn't give a fuck, man. Because when you're a teacher, you have to learn it, so you force yourself to.
Yeah,
do
you're
it.
gonna
So
get
you actually-
embarrassed.
You spend time on it. Whereas when you're 16, you go to class for 1 hour a day, and that's it. You forget.
And you've
about it.
always
That's
got
why
like
you
a
don't know
little,
it.
you got a little, like an Elon Musk in the class trying to humiliate you and
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
that's not the periodic table. You're on your period, fuckhead. You know, trying to fuck you. No, but yeah, and that's why like all the people that immigrate, why all their kids excel, because they realize you can be a lawyer, doctor, engineer just with graft,
with enough
with hard work, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Graft. Like, yeah.
and enough pressure from the parents.
Put some pressure on
And
them.
no social life.
And you know what happens? Once you're a teacher, you've got the pressure because you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So you're living in a share house and you're like, I've got to get a home deposit. I've got to learn this fucking equation.
Yeah, that's if you care about a house deposit.
But dude,
You know,
doesn't that blow apart
I'm
education?
going on holiday to Mandurah fucking.
What does it mean for the whole education? It means that it blows apart the whole mystique of learning.
Yeah, you know what would be
That
good?
it's not actually at a high level.
No,
Yeah.
It's just honestly, it just takes a little bit of hard work and a good enough teacher to show you how to work it out. But Matt Storer, when he was homeschooled, he said like his mum didn't teach him. He was given the stuff and he had to learn it himself. So anyone's capable of learning it themselves. It's just when you get stuck on something, you just need a slight different thing. But now with YouTube, you can almost learn fucking anything.
But you know what
We just set up a whole system. We
but
didn't quite get the
they
lag right.
build the mythology around school and go like, wait until year 12, it gets really hard.
Yeah.
And then what they should really do is go, come meet Delby. He's an expert. No, not you, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A teacher, and you can explain, I got 60% in high school,
Yeah.
and now I'd get 100
So if
on the
it's-
exam.
so the thing
and then
is-
they would think, fuck, well, anyone, you can do it if just with a bit of perseverance.
If it's all about like, and with testing and stuff, that's all like just remembering the right answers.
yeah, most
Is
of
that
that's
right?
just so you can report to the government and show, we're improving, what we're doing is working, but it's all bullshit. Everything's like tailored towards getting funding and student
Yeah.
results.
Do you know
and
how you
showing
fix
parents
this
they're
all?
Improving.
So if that's the thing,
I can
like,
fix it in one move.
what's that?
And I've always wanted it. All you do is teachers no longer report, and you put a fucking CCTV camera in that anyone can access at any point.
Then they'll end up on that island.
No, what I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
you film the class,
Yeah.
and then you don't update. You don't need to, because at any moment the government
parent-
could log in and go, what's Delby doing tonight at 11?
Yeah.
The fear of the audit, you don't then have to say, hey guys, today we did syllabus 1.4 for 7.
Yeah.
It's like a parent can just go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Delby was asleep on his desk at 3. I checked in to see my kids.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't have to report to the government because it's self-monitoring. And just the fear, the cameras don't even need to be plugged in. Just the fear of that
that's-
would mean they're doing their best.
A lot of
Instead, they
teachers-
need paperwork with you signing on the 4th of May. Did you present the Egyptian syllabus?
Yeah.
You must have, and you sign it.
Yeah.
Just the thought that it's like the fear of audit in the ATO.
Yeah.
They don't check every data. You just know that you're
But
going to get fucked if they
It
find
would be
you.
good as well because having the cameras as well would eliminate not all but majority of big issues with behavior management as well.
Dude, and then you could verify what the kids did,
Yeah.
what you did. Everything's tracked, and you know if you
But
weren't there,
it's a minefield, man. You need permission from their parents to use the internet at school.
Yeah.
They have to tick the sites. they're
and
allowed to use it.
you're right. And then you know what happens? The camera ends up a live feed on that island, like you said, with
So-
people just jacking off. Yeah, like tell us more about that. You know,
Egyptian
the law
Tutankhamun.
of relativity. The age is relative as well, girl. yeah, this sort of shit.
I've
So
got
true.
like a thought on, and I could be way wrong on this. So teaching, we talk about like the people are just remembering the answers, and it is about funding and what we can do, but we're living in a modern world where we can just Google and YouTube anything.
That's it, man.
So I'm not saying like we should just give up and just say, hey, they can do that. Let's focus our attention on
Your best
developing.
teacher's the internet.
But it is there. We can't ignore that it's not there as a thing. So it's the same with the calculator. The calculator's there.
Yeah.
We can't ignore that it's not, and we can still say, look, let's teach them basic maths and
the basics.
But to
beyond
move
that.
to like evolve as a species is at the next level. Like we just go right. We've got the answers there already. They can Google that. We know that.
And just
all they're doing before that is remembering it anyway.
All you are is a
Let's
guide
teach them how to.
You're a guide to help them find the data quicker.
Yeah. Who's putting the
exactly
information
right.
on though? Because if it's people that have just done that before, you keep repeating the same useless information. That's
Yeah.
not true.
And that's the problem, man. It's controlling the info because internet is a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Mate, my students is still in year 10. They don't know how to Google an article that's not an advert or that's actually a trustworthy.
But I mean,
They write down for notes. They'll search what is Tutankhamun, and they just write down what they find on the search engine's homepage, and they reference Google.com.
Dude, and this was the hardest thing to learn when you were growing up was misinformation is as bad as info. So you would know what
Mr. Information's more reliable because it's a male.
you would know what the currency is for China. But then your mate in the footy field would go, fuck off, it's yen, mate. And then from then onwards, you're confused. Back before you had the internet. But the same thing's happening now. Someone will go like, the vaccine does this or some shit. And then you're like, I don't know, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you're always confused. But I do agree with your idea that all education is just uploading data and then downloading. It's like a memory stick.
Yeah.
Just proving, hey, if you memorize like 10 capital cities,
This kid
10
did
days
better
later you can remember it.
Yeah, this kid did better
And I'm
at
like, what's the
memorizing
fucking
the
point
answers
of
better
that,
than
dude?
this kid.
That's
We've
why
already outsourced.
escape rooms are dope, bro, because that's real application of knowledge and problem solving. And we do that in the classroom as well, which is sick.
Dude, imagine.
Have you done an escape room though in Perth?
I've done one, man.
Do you like it?
I did it as a
bro.
group.
I don't know if I could do one with Wolfe.
I did it as a group, and the problem is like
You would dominate it.
I
and you would
reckon-
tell everyone to shut the fuck up.
Nah. As a group, you get you're only as smart as the dumbest cunt because they end up yelling. We were a bit drunk, but then you're like, no, man, it's near the phone. You got to go near the bed, and then they're like, nah, it's in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen, and then you realize like.
You need two
and
or
then
three people
and then
max.
you end up giving up, and you're like, okay, we're in the kitchen, and then at the end, the things go off, and it was at the phone, and you're like, I swear I could have done better just by myself. Just not talking to anyone.
With two or three people, and that's it. That's what I reckon is the most.
It is funny seeing group dynamics though, because I don't know if you're better in a group. Sometimes you're definitely worse, depending on how you interact with the group.
It depends.
I'm not good in groups, and I lose all my any thought. I'm a waste. I'm just end up doing jokes and like wandering around. Like,
I'm a control freak. I know that. I like
that's
to
the
have
problem,
control.
dude.
Yeah.
I try to be democratic. I'll listen to everyone, but if I know that I'm right, I'm like, hey man, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you look, this is the right answer. You poor cunt.
dude, and it's like it's like a battle of egos. But no one's done entry checks on their IQ. So it's like whoever's they go, I'm definitely know it's right. I'm like, I don't know, man. Your life sucks.
Yeah, because we did one with
Why are we going to
Sam
trust you?
Sure. And I remember like there was one that I had no idea, and then I think Sam just figured it out, and I was like, oh. I thought I'd be able to do it all. Like,
Dude,
someone found
there's so many different ways that people think, so it's good because not every escape room puzzles, they're not logical puzzles, and some are too logical.
Yeah.
So dude, we went in there and they go, do you want the thing? And we go, now ramp it up, the hardest one possible.
Everyone, eh?
But and we're like, nah, mate, do it as hard. You fucking blindfold me, dickhead. But you did get around stuff because someone said like
16 seconds with blindfolded. I can fucking do this.
Dude, we got around some cool stuff though, like where you broke what they expected.
Yeah.
It was like you weren't meant to do that. Like I opened the toilet with a spoon, picked the lock, and it goes, that wasn't what you're meant to do, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just bypass 3 steps.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I pushed that little bolt hole and you're like, there you go, boys, it's open.
Yeah, I've done that as well by accident where you do the wrong thing.
What do you mean, man? This is what I found in school, right? And you were mentioning it, like references, whether they do Google. And everyone says you got to do your references at the end of the essay.
At uni.
And obviously the first thing you do is the book that you use, you just go to their references and copy them down.
Did that at uni all the time.
And no one ever did it. And they're like, oh, mate, I'll be there now, just trying to find my references. I'm like, your references are any book on this topic, dickhead. You can put 1,000 references. I've read this. I went to Patagonia on a fucking backpack tour. Anything written in this back.
Yeah.
Do you know? And people are like, no, well, I've got to do the ones I did. I'm like, well, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that immediately? It was so logical.
I did that at uni. I'd find the references that the thing I was referencing used and go just read the first paragraph of that and go, right, I'm going to take
Dude,
from that.
I explained that to people and they would go like, that's not how it's meant to be done. I'm like, who cares
No,
how it's meant to
if
be
you're
done?
a lecturer or a professor, you're not going to check fucking 60 students, 15 reference lists, man.
Dude,
You're just gonna,
but better than that, it doesn't matter even if you used it. You put it in there.
yeah, you just say
and you
you
can
read
just
it.
go, oh, it just gave me a vibe.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's nothing to do with this and that. And I go like, I
That's
like the
your
way
opinion.
I like the way he wrote. And you're like, it's Oscar Wilde. You're doing like
yeah.
physics, and you're like, he's got a good turn of phrase, man.
They did a recorded tourist walkthrough.
Did you ever do that, or did you actually get your own references? I tried to.
Brad, you didn't go to uni.
Why did I go? I was a sheet metal fabricator.
Oh, your reference was like getting the coffee orders.
Yeah. Do you know why I finished? I finished year 12. It's so stupid. Like I had the most illogical thing. I ended up finishing year 12 because I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
But I told everyone, no, I want to do it so it looks better on my resume. But,
Yeah.
Once you finish, that's it.
well, fucking, it didn't matter. I went into a trade. I
Yeah.
could have
Yeah,
done that
yeah.
when I was fucking 15.
Yeah,
like I could have got my apprenticeship.
But you
then.
could have easily done anything at school. If you
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
You just didn't. You
No,
weren't
I didn't.
interested?
Yeah, well, and this is you're a product of your environment. And I remember my parents. My dad never went to uni, so he was like, "No, you don't need uni. That's fucking stupid. Like, just become a trade. There's so much money in a trade." But I think that's probably
Looking at my life now, I don't need a uni for a
I didn't
celebrity
need-
or a stand-up or an MC or an event host.
No, but you didn't know what you wanted to do,
Dude,
and
yeah.
you had a life. You were like, "I'm going to be a teacher."
Yeah.
Or
The
you had
dads
a
are
few
like
different
that. The
things.
dads are like that. When I went with my best mate, we went over Europe, and
Yeah.
his dad was there at the airport, and he goes, he was actually, I think he said to my dad, I don't know why he did that fucking CA. He should have done like chartered accountancy.
Yeah.
He was like embarrassed at me. He goes, should have done air conditioning. Oh, his fucking brother.
Yeah.
He's like the black sheep. And we're like, what are you talking about? He's at Big Four. He's a fucking killing it. And then I've spoken to his dad since, and he's like, oh, he's doing quite well. And I'm like, yeah, he's a multi-millionaire now. And he goes, yeah, I suppose he was right. I shouldn't have just done the trade. But you know what I mean? When we left, he was like, I don't know what's wrong with that boy thinking he's better. Just get your fucking hands on the tools, you fucking. Even when he was doing his CA,
Oh my
he
God.
would get annual leave, and they would be like fixing the house up. So he'd take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To do the whole tiling,
Yeah,
do all
right.
that. But his dad was embarrassed. He's almost ashamed of him.
That's crazy.
Going like, oh, I cannot believe that snotty-nosed little fucking book nerd. He's an embarrassment. His brother owns 2 houses already. I'm like, now this cunt
His
is
brother owns
rich,
the bank
man.
that owns a house.
He showed me his net worth once on a phone. I think that's why I spiraled out. I saw it. I was so jealous. I was like,
Is this your cousin in South Africa?
No, it was a mate that came here and he showed me his bank balance when I had started to do well. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I've got to go all in on something special. I need to triple this, quadruple to get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
But it's funny seeing.
And now
like-
you're fucking sitting in a attic.
And it all ties
With
into.
an Anne Frank headset talking us through.
Dude,
This is where the Nazis took me.
it all ties into what I was saying, like the framing of your life.
Yeah.
You become what you're around, and you only are what you imagine you are. You can be anything, but you don't. You can be homeless and still happy.
I identify as a
Dude, but
as a
don't you-
legend.
But don't you think?
Do you like the I am stuff? As in, like it affirms things for you and it puts you on a life like a
I
right
stopped
mindset.
doing it, and that's where my life started to go shit.
So you think
For
the I
when
am helps?
When I
mentally?
was doing broking, I did all the mental self-help motivations, and I only did it this weekend randomly, just watching videos of, do you know, the
Tony
I
Robbins
am,
and stuff like
or
that.
just stories of like, you know, like that guy that plays Fortnite or one of those games,
Yeah.
War of Warcraft, and he's one of the best, and he's sponsor, and he basically was at a party, got paralyzed. And then he was going to be quite good at sport in this, and he wanted to kill himself, and then eventually his brother bought him equipment where he can play the game
With his mouth.
just with his mouth.
Wow.
And I think his name's Brain Dead on there. Maybe it's
Fuck
Brain
off.
I think it's Brain Dead.
That's
It might be not right.
Yeah. Imagine that. You've just
check your reference.
Yeah.
I felt bad because I always laugh at that stuff. Because there was a guy down at the gig in Freo, and they were raising money for some like multiple sclerosis or whatever, and they had called the page Magic Mike, or do you know when they you do it wrong, like cystic fibrosis. I used to say some shit wrong, But yeah, the guy is in the top 10. He's a sponsored player now.
Wow.
But he didn't want to do it because he think. But I'm saying watching shit like that,
Yeah.
and then you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
I can fucking dominate.
Well, you
man.
should have
Yeah.
flipped a bit more on the cricket catch, and you'd be fucking the
Yeah.
best ever.
It is.
Yeah, dude, if I'd done a full flip. But that I am,
Imagine, yeah.
that I am thing is so true. And
Well,
I
are you saying
think-
I am like I am legend?
No, I am.
going
I
to-
am
Yeah,
is like
I am like
that-
not. I am going to.
Yeah.
I am.
No, I am.
Even if
I
you
am is
aren't.
in the meditative
Yeah,
or
yeah,
in
yeah.
that thing, the recognition of yourself, and it's like the mantra, of transcendental meditate. It's like
Hey,
Transcendental,
I
it's
don't
meant
talk
to.
about trans
it's
trans
meant-
issues.
yeah, it's
Well,
called
we did last week. And,
gender diverse meditation or whatever the fuck. But no, it's meant to pin it back on you. Yeah, I know what you're saying,
So,
man.
yeah, you become what you say you
It
are.
underlies the whole thing. And they were saying, like, if you say it a lot. The reason I stopped doing it was when I came to Perth, because all I wanted to do was be a stand-up, and then that became totally unfeasible. Only in an amateur way, or you can do it sort of here. You've managed to do it, but I didn't think you could anymore.
Thanks, bro.
And then but then I stopped.
Oh, you meant saying you didn't think
No.
in general you could anymore?
No, I didn't think anyone.
I thought you said you managed to do it. I didn't think you could.
No. I meant in general. You managed to do it. I didn't think that. And then I gave up and just stopped doing any of the affirmations or the I ams.
Yeah.
Early on, I was like, fucking. That's how in the broking thing to close a lot of people, you had to do. I was even doing the pineal gland.
Oh, really?
Where you'd have the vibrations and massaging it to open
The
up
hertz.
the chakra or the third eye.
Yeah.
And then pushing in like you'll close
And it's
people. And then it would go from like weeks and suddenly you're like 10 closes in a day.
Yeah.
Everyone that spoke to you was like, you know what? I think I'll give you a shot.
Yeah. I like that little penal gland.
And you're basically, you got a headset on going, grrrr. And you're like, I'll look after your super. Grrrr. And she's like, you sound great. I'm going to give you a shot, Andrew.
I think it's definitely there's something to it for me. Like there's a I am, and it's just a rewiring of your mindset. It's not magic.
But dude, there's more to it than this because the objective truth of what your reality is doesn't really matter because if you frame it correctly, you can be lying in a cardboard board in the park and still happy. So the capturing of that mindset takes control of existence, which then means the outcomes are irrelevant, like the Buddha knows.
Yeah.
That you just sit on a rock and meditate. As soon as you start engaging with your mind like that, it's largely irrelevant if you become Elon Musk or
Yeah.
if you're poor because you're happy.
Well,
I think Buddha was just lazy.
well,
He had an eating disorder.
But
We
I
always said
realized
that.
when you're doing that I am stuff, because it rewires your brain to chase certain areas and like look at certain things, the reticular activating
Yeah.
system. So you spot the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I get how that works. You're looking for red. You're looking for red.
Well, you got
you're going to
10,000
find red if you're not
shorts a
looking
day.
for.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
when
if you're not looking for
a
brown.
Hyundai, then you start seeing a lot of them on the road.
Exactly. So if you're looking for an opportunity
All
to
the
be
drivers have their eyes closed.
well,
Yeah,
if you're looking for the
I don't see
opportunity to be
anything, though.
a full-time podcaster, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, one of our goals, you will see every opportunity to try and be that
Dude,
full-time
100%.
podcaster. If you weren't looking for it, you would never see the opportunities that were always there.
Yeah.
But so you have to be a little more specific. You can't just say, I want to be a full-time
Yeah.
podcaster because, hey, we're a full-time podcaster,
we're just
really.
we're not a
but
profitable
doesn't
one,
matter.
so-
Yeah, it doesn't mean we're making
But-
money
but the
from it.
prob-
If you're
the prob-
listening to this and you love it, join the Patreon
Yeah,
so
so-
we can start paying our stars.
No, but the problem is it's all got a bad stigma now because it's tainted as like
Patreon.com.
a shortcut to
Yes.
get successful and material possessions. But I think in essence, if you just live that way,
Well, we're
you
3
know,
years.
you no longer have to be. You already got your dream, dickhead.
Yeah.
Because somehow you're staying fed. Scotty's alive. I don't know how. But you know what I mean? Like you're running this. I don't know where the money comes. There's a guy filming it right now. He's unpaid. He's gonna go out. But I'm like, there's nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
And then you realize, you don't want to pervert it to go, I have to be Joe Rogan.
No, yeah,
Why
that's right.
do you?
No.
Joe Rogan's life comes with as many bad things as good.
It comes
by
with a
being that
neon. It comes
profile.
with a neon sign.
Dude, and Rogan, like, he's going to get pestered everywhere now.
Yeah. Rogan's Rogan. Well, I'm happy on what we're doing. If we could make this profitable and make it a third source of income, where
That's
we don't
right. Yeah,
have
it doesn't have to be.
Don't have to like stress about we got to do because for the listeners we've put aside 1 day a week now, and if we can get that working a profitable.
Do you guys
we're 3
do
years in.
normal hours or are you lazy on that day?
Well, I
this
fucking
would say a
forgot.
lot
I-
about how much you're trying to manifest.
I forgot to write
when
a
you
wedding
cruise
today,
in
but-
at 10:30.
Yeah.
have a long lunch, and then leave at 3. This is what I'm sensing.
Today was fucked because me and Tex tried all morning to sort out this whole like live
Just
stream
manifest
stuff.
it. You don't
and
even
we got
have to
it.
come in,
we,
dickhead.
no, but we worked the whole thing out. It was perfect and everything looked good, but in recording it became very laggy and juddery. So we're still working on that so we can actually get the video out that
Will it be
day.
way better?
forgot
I
to
don't
light a
like being
wedding.
on video
So we still
anyway.
now record the whole episode and then it takes Tex
Speaking
about
of,
a week
I
to get it up.
am going to be late, but you guys keep going.
No,
we
okay.
Make it wrap up
We'll give it
naturally,
another 5
And if
minutes.
I come back and you're still going, I'll just jump
Oh,
in,
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I'm only
yeah.
going for half an hour.
We'll manifest
I
it, man.
am only going for half
If
an hour.
you
I'll be
say
back.
we're going to be here, we'll be here.
Yeah, I'm going to join back in when I return.
Dude,
Okay, cool.
You know what I was thinking
I like
about
that.
Rogan? I loved it because I heard another guy
Yeah.
do the classic thing where it's going like, I would have fucked him up.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But I've realized it's like the McDonald's of martial arts. Everyone's trained at it. Everyone's at every party going like, yeah, I could have fucking taken him down. I'm like, it is handed out. It's spoon-fed to everyone because everyone loves Rogan.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Every guy I talk to, I goes like, yeah, I wasn't worried. Obviously, I'm a brown belt. I'm like, everyone's a brown belt.
Yeah.
You're going to fight another brown belt at the lights and
Yeah.
get put in a wheelchair, dickhead.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't know anyone that doesn't seem to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu now at some level.
Do you think we circulate in I guess groups of people that like the same things though?
Oh, because that's
So like
maybe you're
you're
right.
circulating in a group of people that they all had the same mindset, so they all gravitate towards Joe Rogan, and they've all heard the same
Oh,
thing.
well,
So
that
they're
makes
like,
sense.
actually, I want to be better. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu because he said it was good. I'm going to have Alpha Brain because he said it's fucking good. I'm going to do
Yeah, that makes
meditation.
sense.
I'm going to try mushrooms. And do you know what? Like everything I'm doing right now, it is a manifestation of everything I've seen on Joe Rogan. Really.
Yeah.
It is. And it's as embarrassing as that sounds, it is like you're almost copying him. But his lifestyle does seem
Well, dude,
good.
isn't that one of the things of manifesting is to find a mentor and modeling?
Yeah, well,
one of the fundamental cores of
he's
that
like the-
idea is to find someone that's living the life you want and then copy as much as you can so you get that life.
Well, just like he's laid the groundwork for so many.
But I still reckon
so
most
many
Brazilian
podcasters.
jiu-jitsu going, I wasn't worried I could handle myself. I'm going to get fucked up by another brown belt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually trained and go like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, we've all trained at it. We all listen to Rogan. Man. And it's like, dude, I was watching that Jimmy Savile
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
doco. It's strung out, man. The first episode is just showing how famous he was.
Yeah,
and there's not enough on the crime, man. I like the grit. But it was amazing to see someone live on the planet like
Yeah,
David
because he was like
Bowie.
a fucking hero, man.
But what I'm saying is
Everyone loved him.
such an eccentric original voice.
Yeah.
And then you realize in this planet, we're saying of Rogan, there's only a handful of individuals that are truly unique. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when you look around, and look, this guy obviously
Elon
molested
Musk.
a lot. This guy's got the blonde hair. He's wearing whatever the fuck he wants. He's wandering around like the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
And he basically groomed the whole nation. So that effectively he was normalizing sexual contact
Yeah.
in every TV thing.
Yeah.
He'd kiss and linger and grab. And then all the victims were like, fuck.
Yeah, I've just
he
been
molested
abused.
a woman on a fucking morning TV show.
Fuck.
It's normal. But I'm like, it is crazy, those rare
Yeah.
people that just seem to have come from another planet. Like he was so different to anyone I'd ever seen.
Do you think it's because I often talk about being a product of your environment? Do you think that's what it is, or do you think some people are just born like?
Well, that's what they were saying. This Aristotle, or no, it wasn't Aristotle. I'm just fucking quoting memes again. I don't know what I'm talking about. But there was a quote that it's rare. It's rare for someone to not the voice of every time. I'm not going to word it right.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
each-
yeah.
It's very rare to find a unique voice. That
A voice of a generation.
that speaks at odds. You basically collectively just go along with what is the status quo of each generation. And there's only a handful of people that jar it out. Like Jimmy, even though he was a massive monster pedophile, he pretty much just lived his own life, and he should have been in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he had something unique that people latched onto.
Yeah, it's odd that, and we brought up Elon Musk before. He's the same. He's like quite eccentric to a certain point.
Dude, he doesn't go on holidays. His whole thing
Yeah.
is basically a fantasy of space travel.
Isn't
Do you
it?
know? It's like a geek that wants to make Star Trek real.
Yeah.
Did
Did he go to
doesn't really-
space?
I don't think he has.
So Bezos and who else? They like had a little race and they went up there. Bezos and who?
Bezos is meant to be an absolute grub, hey?
Yeah.
After he got divorced, he's meant to be a womanizer,
Really?
party boy.
Oh my god.
Imagine
that was the
seeing-
biggest. Was that the biggest divorce settlement in history or something?
Dude, and the thing was, he's worth more than that now. Immediately
Fuck,
up. But
immediately.
imagine him seeing him at a party going wild. Because I heard Elon.
Oh, how unprofessional.
I heard Elon was at Splendor in the Grass,
Yeah.
and he was in the VIB tent necking on for hours with some random. Like in between when he got divorced and Grimes.
I heard.
Someone saw him. Maybe it wasn't Splendor. It was an East Coast festival.
Yeah.
And he spent an hour just making out with some hottie in the VIP tent like a party boy. Do you know how fun that would be? To say, there's Elon. Throw some fucking matches down and see if he can count them. And he's fucking grabbing a titty and making out with someone. And you're like, Elon. And he goes, yeah, boys, come do some lines.
What
a
fuck?
moment to see him like, because there's a footage of him recently just at a fair eating one of those potato swivel things. It's just falling down his shirt. It's just so weird. It's like imagining Elon taking a shit. They're weird thoughts, hey?
Yeah, I've always thought about that one. Imagine the Queen
taking a
the
shit.
Queen taking a shit. Can you like? Which way do you reckon she wiped?
Dude, why do they go that? What about the Queen on her period? That's what you want. That is the angle.
Would she,
with
do you
the
reckon
tampon.
She, yeah, what do you reckon? Oh, do you reckon?
She'd probably just rub up against one of the corgis. Wipe it off. Rub a corgis between her leg every 20 minutes. Don't you think? Get some of that scent in you. Find me if I go missing. Maybe that's a bit much. But it's funny, eh? Dude, no, but don't you think? Because you go for that good angle of like the taking a shit. I'm like, what about her masturbating?
Oh, yeah. What about John Cleese having a wank?
What about, was it Prince Philip grabbing her titty?
Oh.
and titty fucking the Queen? Can you imagine that? He must have titty fucked her.
They must have had sex.
Imagine him titty fucking the Queen and
what would it be?
Charles is in the other room and he can hear through the wall. And he can't sleep and he doesn't want to go in to tell them because he's scared and he can hear him titty fucking her. That would have happened, eh? And he'd be like, Mum, Mummy, are you awake? Mummy! Why is Philip on you? Why is Philip lying on you? Go, boy. Go. Lie and think of the Queen. Is that the same? Lie there and think of the Queen when you're getting raped? Is that what they actually say?
I don't know.
Lie there and think of the Queen.
Oh, my God.
Just lie there and think of the Queen.
What just happened?
Is when you're having sex that you don't want to.
The Queen getting titty fucked by Prince Philip is the most fucked up.
No, but I'm saying like no one ever extends beyond like very sober, basic ones. Oh. Don't you think? Imagine her in India with explosive diarrhea, having to get raced back in that cart. Do you know where the horse is? Racing back to the home. As she tries to wipe her ass
hurry up.
on the curtains as she shat her dress. She shat her dress. She's ripped the curtains off that window as the horse is raced back to the castle and she rubs it between her legs and throws it out the window on the Delhi streets.
Oh, fuck.
Mate, it's a lot to imagine.
Yeah. What?
Because I was trying to imagine Elon on a holiday.
And what he
That's
would
I'm
be
into.
doing? Like
Him just on the beach counting the sand. And they're like, why are you going to the pool? And he goes, I want to see how much sand there is. Counting each grain. And his wife's like, you fucking moron.
dick. Oh, my God.
Dude.
I'm really tired. That killed me.
Dude, I do think, like, because comics was saying like, they've got a WhatsApp where they send around just farts.
What?
Like, they record their farts and just send it to each other. You got to
Who
listen
do?
to it. But I'm like,
Who does that?
Comics. Some of the comics over east, they record their farts and there's a group and you just upload it. But I'm like, some of this base stuff, there's probably nothing funnier than a fart recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we had that example of that comedian who farts the song.
Oh, mate, yeah, it's Mr. Methane.
Yeah, no.
He's grubby.
Yeah, Janelle Koenig told us about that and just said...
Pink-eyeing
she's
every act.
like, you can craft the most incredibly amazing joke ever and get, the crowd to buy in and laugh, and no one is going to laugh more than when they hear some guy playing fucking some song.
And the thing that
with his
saves
ass.
it is he's dressed as a superhero. If he was bare ass and you could see the flaps, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here. If you could see him moving his finger around the ring to get the different angles. He's pulling his thumb in there.
He does not do that, does he?
To get those sounds, he must have his hand.
Well, like a trumpet, like...
He'd be like Savile up a skirt, man. He'd be fucking manipulating it like a recorder with his fingers. He'd probably fist himself to get the final...
like a trombone is his fucking...
He'd be pinching it together with his thumbs.
Oh, my God.
Dude, yeah, man. But you know what happened with that? I heard it on another pod, but it was the guy that was recording farts.
Yeah.
And he accidentally sent it to a mum at his school.
Yeah.
What she had sent, so it was overnight. He recorded one.
Yeah.
And then she sent a birthday invite, and he put his thing on it. And then he woke up in the morning and goes, "Why has this got no traction? It was such a good fart." And then he realised, what? It's changed. I sent it to the hottest mum at my school for a birthday request, and he didn't delete it. He just left it there, man. Because what can you do?
You got to own it.
The only thing you can hope is that she sends a fart back. But if you go, I'm fucking immature. I record farts. I send them, and they're like, "My boy will never be sleeping at yours." You fucking creep dog. Don't you think? Mate, that actually happened. What? Yeah. Man, you're the friendliest laugher, hey? You got mates like that build your confidence. People running
just
and
got
go
on
like
a
this.
tear.
Sucks.
It's not that. You've got on a
People
fucking...
running would be like, "I fucking hate this," and you're like egging me on.
Oh, no, keep
Do you know
going.
you know when someone gets egged on?
My mate, I know one listener, and he's a Patreon, Matt Ingham, Spud. He'll be losing it.
think
He will
you like
message
this?
me tomorrow just saying that was incredible.
Oh, mate, we'll see. We'll see. No, it's, like when someone gets egged on, and then it's embarrassing.
And they keep going.
I love that moment. It's like what I was saying with the streaker. If you just let them hang there.
Yeah.
Do you know when the group's like, "Do it, do
Yeah,
it,"
yeah.
and then they got their dick out
Yeah.
and they're running through Coles, and then people are like, realize, "Oh, we went too far."
Yeah.
And you the penny drops.
Yeah.
"Oh, we went too far."
Yeah.
And then you're just left hanging.
See-
It's happened to me a lot, where you're suddenly like, "Hey boys, see it? Did you see? I lit it, boys. I lit the car."
That's it. My group of friends. I am the funny guy.
Yeah.
I get egged on to do that, and then
But
so
I've seen you do the kangaroo.
yeah. So those sorts of, but it's more stupidity. It's like, yeah, they can egg me on to do whatever, but you. And fucking Pinder and Delby, and I get into a room with you guys, and I become the guy egging on the funny guys
dude,
because
it's
I'm nowhere near the level of you guys, and I'm just an idiot with my friends.
What do you mean, man?
But I'm also more confident, and I get silly.
It's so funny because when you're younger, you think, "Oh, I've got to go on anti-anxiety meds.
Yeah.
I need to go on depression." But then you realize some people you just don't gel with. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we don't gel, but I'm saying
Yeah.
some people you're the hero.
I feel
and your first joke, and they're like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
And they love you. And then other people, like I had them in my life, and I ended up like heavily medded. I'm like, "What's wrong with me?" And then I'm like, "The guy's an asshole. He's a fake asshole."
Yeah.
And I'd tell a story, and then they would ask more like, "What car was that?" Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
But I reckon as you get older, you start to realize that you're a different person depending on who you're around. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
depending on how much confidence you get.
I'm so much different around. So much different. I'm way different around you. Like you guys in a green room, I'm so much more quiet. I'm so much more reserved because I feel so intimidated to try and inject a bit of humor.
And it's all framing, man. Because I went down south at my sister's, and they're more like sensible, and like my kids are like setting the table. And like I was saying, they said that story about thing. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm all like formal. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, maybe I should shave and slick my hair down. And then the chat's more like, "Interesting, what's happening in?"
Yeah.
And then like both of us are you know what I mean? Both of us are too aware.
Yeah.
We should just say whatever and tell the Queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what the thing is? The Queen titty fucks that we just riffed at is not for all taste.
No.
If you did that in certain things,
Yeah.
people would hate it.
Fuck.
Do you know? Like there are a lot of people probably listening and going like, that was awful. But it was just like, but you know what I mean? Like what I'm saying is like, there's an age where you realize you're not for all taste. And then you realize some people like port at the end of the night, others want a water, some want a kebab. But it is a weird thing, man, to realize that, because I have it the same, man. I go around some formal people and I freeze up. I've been at jobs where I'm like, I haven't said anything. And then it gets overwhelming and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't even say hi anymore. I'm like, fuck. And then you're like, oh man, it would be weird now if I said, hey guys. So then you eventually like freeze and you're like, oh, I'm the quiet guy now.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've become the quiet guy. And
Yeah.
then you like work there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's quite sensible, keeps to himself, quiet guy. And you're like, how the fuck have I become the quiet guy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I actually totally empathize.
I've had it at jobs, man, 100%.
Yeah.
And I would walk into the office and not say anything.
Yeah.
And that is so incongruent with my personality
Yeah.
that it's insanity.
I find that, and that's what I find when I'm with, like, it's strange that I get that around the comedians.
Yeah, but you know what the comedians
I become
is?
the quiet one.
It's like me, every time I hear the recordings,
Yeah.
like they're so used to being on stage just like dominating
Yeah.
that they fucking don't give anything any air.
Yeah.
Because they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're doing this Queen riff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they'll just fucking... I've had it with Pinder and I.
Yeah.
When we're on this pod. It's unlistenable, really.
Oh, I
'Cause we're
still
both-
found it. It's
we're
one of
both-
it was early on. It was one of our biggest listened to episodes.
But we fought the whole time.
Well, not fought, but you mean like for
For
air
the
time.
attention.
Yeah.
Like we both wanted to control it.
Well, you also remember the headphones didn't work that one, so you were talking over each other.
We talked over each other.
And that's why people ask, like, why do you wear headphones? For that fucking reason. Because when people are talking to you on that same level of sound, noise, when you can hear each other on the same level, you can stop. And if you can hear someone, but if you're talking loud and I can't hear you because I'm talking, it's because I'm talking I can't hear you.
Dude, you know what?
in my ears.
I've got a big mistake though because I know how to listen, but I interrupt to get my rhythm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And when I see it on video, it's so selfish and it's one of the worst people. But I'm like, my chaotic mind needs to be fed every 1 second.
I'm going to put that little 5-minute ref of you on Titty Fucking the
But
Queen on TikTok and see what happens.
Mate, you know, I love on TikTok, you always say it's going to go so well. I am like the leper on there.
No.
I'm the scratch
Yeah, but
Carla.
you're not doing it right. But also, like...
No, but I'm saying the clips that you put up on me are largely rejected.
No. They went well, the last ones.
They're not,
The
man.
topical ones always go well. Funny clips don't go well. Our funny little clips, we stopped putting funny clips up.
It's
Because they
actually
just don't get any traction. Because there's fucking 14 million funny clip podcasts going around.
Dude, and
So we put up our topical stuff.
the only people that can do like rudimentary, like really mundane shit is famous people because everyone's a fame whore.
Yeah.
And they were like, you see it with Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
And he was like, at the end, he's got all the accusations. And there's a journalist there that he befriended.
Yeah.
And we became best friends. And she would go around to have cups of tea and went to his birthday. And she was in denial. But what you didn't realize is the only reason she was enjoying that was because it rose her up, like the accolade. Do you know what I mean? She was willing to overlook it.
Yeah.
And then later, she was like, look,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to take it in context. Later, when the documentary's out, she's back doing the same thing because now she doesn't have Jimmy anymore. So now by like vilifying him and jumping on that is her new way to be famous. I was there as friends. You wouldn't have guessed it. He was a brilliant man. We had cake. And I'm like, get an identity yourself, fuckhead.
Yeah.
You're always fucking leeching. You're a feeder fish. You spend your whole life on the tail of someone else's notion or idea. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But I'm saying like those famous people, I don't know. I read the tweets
Yeah.
and they're garbage.
What the?
Just a lot of the ideas that are getting like
Oh, yeah.
1 million views, and I'm like, this sucks.
Oh yeah.
This person's a fucking derivative. It's
Well,
not
even-
that funny.
Even when you look on TikTok, for example, some of the videos, and Delby took the piss out of one of them the other day because it was a girl fucking wiggling, and it got like millions of views. So he just did the exact same thing, and I think his one actually did pretty well. But I said you're combining two very good aspects there. One, you're taking the piss, which is always funny.
Yeah.
But you also still kept the hot girl in the video. So you still get the people who want to see the hot girl and just watch it for that.
Yeah,
Plus, you're taking the piss, so you look like you're taking the piss out of the hot girl for just being a hot girl.
Fuck, dude.
So he actually did quite well with it. But like, and that's not just that. Like these stupid dances or fucking.
How much of it is just self-flagellating, just reassuring that we're all the same?
Well, this is
like, is it actually funny? Or is it like a unique thought where you got Chappelle? Does that blow up? Or is it more shit that's going like, oh, I always do that funny dance when I'm brushing my teeth?
Yeah.
Is it more like comforting? I'm wondering like, where's the biggest views?
Well, sometimes like for us, and we don't talk about things specifically to raise eyebrows and create tension and fucking.
I hate the thought that what you're talking about though, where you've got a formula.
Yeah.
So you're like, bum, bum,
Exact-
bounce, bum, and then a song, doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
And then just to do that, I'm like, I'd rather fucking hang myself in
Well,
a
that's right.
park.
And we don't have to make content. We talk, we film, we put it up.
Yeah.
Like whatever. If I find something interesting, I put it up. It's so funny. Some of the bits that I find that I'm like, this is just boring. Well, this is not like for a 1 minute clip. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Why would you want to see this? But they go the best. Like there was one clip of Meej, Pinder, and Delby talking about dad stuff, and it
Dude,
just went berserk
Do you
for
want,
no
you want a conspiracy theory that they reckon
What's that?
is that China TikTok and the West TikTok's different? That,
Really?
That the algorithm is planned so that they're trying to dumb the West. So they're doing dances and always looking like clowns and always looking pathetic. And they pump that into the zeitgeist. And in China, apparently, it's always in reverence to academic learning, discipline, excelling. And they're meant to be chalk and cheese.
Really?
The whole thing is like a big prank. Like it's meant to be pin the tail on the donkey. And they're elevating the lowest of the low to undermine the Western culture. Like, do you know what I mean? Like a piñata. They're putting... This is a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because supposedly the China's one is all very driven in like a famous scientist addressing something and talking about physics and and the jokes are more elevated. But this is just my excuse because I got no followers. But I'm saying that was a conspiracy theory. And then when you think about it, they've got access to culture. Why wouldn't they corrupt the West? Why wouldn't they make a mockery of us and turn us into clowns?
Yeah.
Do you know, like Hitler did
Because it's
that?
fucking ridiculous. I refuse. So we do TikTok.
It's propaganda,
We've
man.
actually used TikTok to our advantage. People have actually come onto the podcast and listened because of that.
But imagine if this
people
is the truth.
recognise me and Delby because of TikTok, which is crazy.
I'm not taking anything away from the TikTok
No,
stars,
but
imagine if the lowest, dumbest morons are being elevated.
Oh,
and it's like what Hitler did with his propaganda, where he would get
So they'd-
and they would make a mockery or clownish stuff of the West, and they were more respect. Do you know they had those cartoons? I don't know if you watched them. I don't know which angle they took.
Yeah.
but it was basically trying to make the West silly.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of World War III, and TikTok's the leading soldier.
Yeah, well, that's it. World War III is always just going to... It's never going to be an actual physical war. This whole, like, Ukraine, China, Russia thing, that's not the
Dude,
war.
this is what I was
The war
saying.
is fucking... is technology. It's fucking... It's
The war is when your
silent.
toaster
Silent.
fucking puts you down. No, but you know what? I was thinking as well, like with... it won't be as obvious that, hey.
No, yeah.
I think the
There won't
days
be
of
missiles and-
like us running up the beach are gone because you can just have drone strikes.
Yeah, so but even so, that's still not going to happen as much. I know it's happening in the Ukraine now, but even that, it's more than that. It's
Dude,
more.
why
it's-
don't they
it's
just quash-
financial and fucking?
Why don't they just
sanctions.
quash the troubled countries and just go... I've always said it, like, we all bomb Ukraine. And
you know your video.
Yeah.
So
was that shocking?
we haven't
I
put-
said that
we
on
haven't-
stage in a riff.
we
I
haven't-
tried to crowbar it in.
We haven't put it on.
Why?
The little of you going, here we are in
Oh,
fucking
dude, you know what? The timing was off.
Yeah, so we might put it up now. So we've got
Dude, but it's too late because the
No,
thing, it was
there's
early.
a question. It's a question. Show a video in your drafts that you weren't going to post, that you should have posted or didn't want to
But
post.
yeah, the timing was right then when we weren't sure what was happening. Now it's been chaos and devastation, and it's me. It was quite innocently mocking it before it had really escalated.
Yeah, this is before it kicked
And now
off.
you drop it months later, and it's me like making a Hitler joke. It makes me look really bad.
Yeah.
But pop it up if you want, whatever.
It's like we've got our foreign correspondent Wolfe. Maybe we should get listeners to message us if you want us to put it up. It's not going to look good for you, Wolfe.
Dude, but the thing is, it's all contextual. Like, this was before the first bombing.
Wait?
Dude, when I did it, they hadn't fully rated.
Do you want me to? I reckon
play it now.
I reckon I've got the audio of it in here, so people will be able to hear it.
Dude, I like that though. With the cancel culture, and we've said it on this pod before, the idea that the audience doesn't take responsibility for the fact it was the most popular show at that time.
Yeah.
So your mum and dad or your grandparents. Oh my God!
I'll turn it down a little bit.
Your grandparents also were accountable. Your mum and dad, who watched Hey Hey.
Thank you, we down here.
Jesus,
Wait,
dude.
okay, I'm gonna play.
What a fucking start! Not only is it offensive, but the sound is hurting my ears.
Okay, you ready?
Thank you, Delby. We down here in fucking Chipscombe Rock Hill, whatever the fuck it's called. It's barbecue season down here, bloody going off like the Sky Show. I don't know what's happened. There are bombs everywhere. We were told that if we joined NATO, we'd be safe passage. Where the fuck are you, US? We're just losing everything. We're heading back to Mother Russia.
That's not that bad.
It's not that.
It's the fact I purposely got all the names wrong is probably racist.
Oh, I actually have an even better version where it's on the news,
Oh, mate.
but I didn't play that.
We can't play this. What a fucking stitch
This
up.
just in, we've actually got Wolfe on the line. He's
Turn
there
it down, turn
live
it down.
in Ukraine.
What a stitch up,
I've got a
mate.
foreign correspondent who I've had to actually airdrop
This
a
shitty,
jacket.
this shitty sketch played twice.
We can't do it. But
Play it.
No,
Yeah.
that's the same thing, but it goes.
Yeah, man. No, but what I was saying, anyway, so that was a conspiracy for you.
No, that's good.
So congrats on your 17,000 likes. You must be doing something to impress my
Followers.
China.
Yeah,
your
no, so like, but what we-
your followers,
So
like
what we-
China must be liking
what we
what you're doing.
refuse to do is we refuse to do TikTok. Like, TikTok, the dances.
But you know
and
what?
fucking
You know what the thing
stupid
is.
Shit. So we
this is always the walls of mediocrity because anything new, people misconstrue, and then they tell you it's just kids dancing. It is access to views and information. Do you know what I mean? Effectively, it's a
attention.
communication channel,
It's where the
and it's a
attention
phone,
is.
and it goes, "Oh, your phone. All you do is play little reading eggs on it." And I'm like, it's access to an audience. It's something never seen before, right? Which is being able to operate your own TV channel and communicate your thoughts. And then it's just little mediocre cunts that say, "Oh, all it is babies dancing." It's access to every person on the planet with information. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How dare someone even reduce it in that way? And the only way they do that is to try to keep you conformed, because the main reason they don't want to go on is because they don't have anything to say, man.
Yeah.
And then they tell you, "Oh, you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to set up your own business. You wouldn't want to have fucking electric cars."
Yeah.
That's I saw the Elon thing, man. That was his saddest moment, which was Neil Armstrong and the guys that went to the moon.
Oh, that's right.
Basically shitting on his idea with the rockets. And they said, "What do you think of that?" Because that was his hero, and that's one of the reasons he got in it.
Yeah.
And his eyes were welling up, and they go, "He's a bloody, effectively, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's wasting time and money. They need to, And he was like, even them, who were basically just space monkeys, like they just got shot up there. Dude.
Yeah.
There was a chimp, and then there was Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Yeah.
He ate a banana up on the way to the moon. He didn't make the rocket. He's wandering around like a fucking hero. That's bullshit, because astronauts are heavily
Trained,
involved and trained.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
But I'm saying to you, like, that blocking resistance to new ideas is crazy. Hey, it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Because they're great talents. Like, I knew a lot of comics that haven't touched YouTube Instagram. I mean, I'm not a great comic, but I deleted my Twitter when I had a shitload back before.
Yeah.
I deleted YouTube, and it was all because of people going, oh, it's fucking lame, mate.
Really?
Yeah, no, you know what I mean? Trying to block you.
Yeah.
And then I remembered stand-up. The
Yeah.
same people said it. You do stand-up. You're not as funny as Choco.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they were all blocking it until it becomes real, and then they're all like, yeah, man. Told him.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have done it.
I told him.
I knew he could do it.
It's Stan Lee talking about Spider-Man to tie it into the Superman story. When he first came up with Spider-Man, the guy, like, it was a failing cartoon. Like, they had a cartoon that was going to publishing and it was going to go under.
Yeah.
And he had come up with Spider-Man and he said, look, a spider on the wall. And he goes, that is, his manager said, that is the worst idea I've ever heard, Stan. Everyone's scared of spiders. No one likes it. It's fucking absolute shit. And then he had a failing
And it's now the
comic
biggest.
and he put it in and it basically just blew up overnight. It was fucking amazing. He put him in as a new character.
Really?
And then the guy said, Stan, we got to get you in. We're his manager, publisher.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know that great idea we had with Spider-Man? We need more of that.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not lying. Within the space of like 1 month publishing, the guy that had told him it's the worst idea he'd ever heard flipped and said, you know that idea I was telling us that we got to put it in the publish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he was being
it's worked, mate. He just flipped.
Yeah.
He just fucking lied.
Yeah.
How many great people have gone to a grave because of little know-alls sticking in?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Just saying no to a
how many
an
Mona
idea that could
Lisas
have
were
been-
wrecked by some mate that goes, why don't you get her baps out? And it's the perfect painting, and then he paints like a smile with the titties out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's in the bin now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because of well-meaning average people. But then you realise...
Yeah, because they don't like the risk. They don't want you to take a risk that they are not willing to take and then succeed.
Then you realise, is yours a true voice? Because Chappelle said it, and he was like talking about the females that quit comedy because of the green room.
Yeah.
And he goes, can't have been much of a dream then, could it?
Yeah. Well, is it more like a...
As in he said no resistance would have stopped him becoming Chappelle.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, I know it's bad. And it is shit.
Yeah,
Dude,
'cause
I
he's
see it in the
suffered through
green
his
room, and
racist
there is
stuff and-
misogyny and
Yeah.
sexist stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and I hate
100%.
it. But what Chappelle's saying is no one would have stopped him becoming Chappelle. You could have fucking given him throat cancer and he still would have delivered like...
That's
Do
what
you know,
he
like
wanted
no
to do.
one was going to fucking stop it. And then I think of my life and I'm like, I just became a victim mentality and said, I moved to Perth. It can never happen. But that's absolute bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Because you guys have set up this pod. It's killing. Delby's full-time doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
actually...
It
It was
does-
actually an easy excuse to give up.
I think the people support you in giving up because it's seeing people succeed at something so simple sometimes, or something that they could probably do.
Dude, it's more than that.
It's a reflection of their own lack of action.
People, they try to get you to give up because they gave up. And it challenges their subconscious to see someone elevate from a forklift driver to setting up Pentanet or a big internet company. And that is jarring to you. It's sort of the same mindset you get when a mate quits booze for a while. Come on!
Yeah.
Just have one. And then you're basically going like, fuck, have one so I don't have to wonder why I have 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's not always that extreme.
No,
to be honest, people do just want to have fun.
Actually-
I drink a lot, and I do encourage people just for a laugh.
All my
I
friends
want
are
people to drink.
All my friends are really supportive in that way. A lot of them are anyway. But I do have that sort of small select group of mates who would, in that example, perfect example, like, I'm not drinking. They'd be like, oh, fucking come on, you pussy. But you know what? The one person, and he's not here, he's gone, but Delby, I can't believe how supportive he is with that sort of stuff.
He is good with that, man.
He's like
hey?
really supportive. And I'll say that now he's not here because it won't fucking give him a big
Well,
ego.
that's so good.
But
We can
he's-
edit
he's-
this out.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
he's actually like, he's good like that. He really, like, if you say, I'll come out, but I'm not drinking, he'll be like, yeah, cool, no, bro.
But you know what the truth is? It's a cultural thing because, like, my main hobby is drinking. That's all I got. That's all I've done since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Without that, like, life sucks. I don't really like golf or anything else. And I'm like, the truth is, even if my friends supported me, like I haven't drank for the last week or two.
Yeah.
And they might go, we support you, but they don't want to go to a wine cruise with you.
Yeah.
And get stuck near you. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, there's such a trap to it because I built a life around partying and alcohol. And I'm like, what's left if I get rid of that? Like, I don't really want to do croquet and life's pretty boring, I find.
It's crazy because I was a very similar, I still am to a certain extent. I'm the fucking, it almost sounds a bit egotistical to say, but like the guy, like, oh, let's get Branchy around because we'll have a good time.
Yeah, we'll get the kangaroo,
it'll be stupid. Yeah, we'll just like, it'll always be lively.
Yeah.
And I've always been the drinker, the guy who goes out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore. No, like there's chances for a blowout. There's times where I can have a bit of fun. Like I fucking love Kyle and Adam Gray, who fucking
we have a great time.
And they always want me to come out and drink with them, and I nearly did a couple of weeks ago at the Patreon party. But even the idea of waking up hungover now is like I'm fine to set aside a few little blowouts here and there.
Yeah, man. But it's because you've got that other interest, which is like that manifesting and physical well-being.
The physical
and you've
well-being.
always taken a lot of pride in sort of being fit and eating well. Attached to your footy thing. But I'm saying like that has been part of your conditioning of having a good life. I never had that, right? I bailed that when I was younger to party and drink.
Yeah.
And so I don't really have a relationship.
I still did that though on the weekends, and that was the thing. It was my blood.
But it's trying to have that relationship.
Drink a lot.
Do you know what that sums it up? Kyle can hear this. When you see him the next day on Insta doing one of those stories, you are so glad you didn't go. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like smoking near a bin, or they're lying on a street near a retic, and I'm like, you never think, wow, I wish I'd gone. You're always like, I fucking dodged a bullet, man.
Kyle has created a message thread with me, Delby, and Adam Gray called branchiesalittlebitch.com.
Oh, that's so funny, though. So funny.
It just put messages in there when they're out and about. And
Legacy's
like,
one of the greats.
The fucking sack, come on, lad.
He's one of those rare characters that never changes no matter the environment.
He's genuine.
Him in the Royal,
do you know what, though,
the Palace versus him at a kebab store, there's no difference.
It's funny, because it's funny.
Genuine.
Well, he is actually. He plays that big live character who loves giving you shit, and he does. He gives me shit all the time, and I like that. It makes me feel fucking part of the group. It makes me feel, accepted.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was having a crack saying, "You're gonna fucking come out. I'm gonna fucking kill you. You fucking little pussy," and fucking going off at me. And then he's like, "But fucking seriously, lad, I won't do the accent. It's all good, man. If you actually, he's like, if you want to stay at home, like it's all good. I get it, man.
Do you know
got
what
a
the
kid
thing
to
is?
Look after the next day.
He rips into.
But a fucking sack, you fucker. You're fucking going out. You fuck.
He always says the F. The fucking fat. No, but I'll tell you that. And once you get on board with what he's doing, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Do you know when he roasts people and you see someone online like, probably right swipe on that? No, I wouldn't. And then once you start, like, before I was like, mate, that's a bit offensive. Now I always like it. I'm like, this is awesome. This rules, taking people a peg down because he doesn't restrict it. Even the sort of high profile comics, he unleashes on.
Yep.
And I fucking love it, man.
Yeah.
And now I fully get behind it. When I see him burning someone, it's hilarious to me because he's not, it's just his game. Like, he'll burn you, he burns everyone, and then you're like, fuck, the world's better when you just burn.
Yeah.
And then you start just ripping into him. I've started doing it more where you just say some fucking wild shit to people. Just fuck off home, you loser. No one likes your wife's. I think he said it to me. He goes, he was funnier before he, he's lost his wife and all. It's funny.
Oh, mate.
I wrote some tweet and I'm going like, and he wrote under, he's lost his wife and all his money. He wrote that out of context. And initially I was fucking fuming. Hey, I wrote something like genuine and he wrote, it's because you lost your wife. wiping all your money. And then I was like, but I love him for it.
Yeah.
It's
Mate,
the funniest shit.
Even in our Patreon party here the other night, I'll put that up as a reel maybe tonight.
Dude, we've almost got to go. Hey,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
petering out because
Yeah.
I feel like
we will actually. 5 minutes.
is Galby coming in 5?
Nah, fuck knows.
Yeah, man. And you know what the thing is? Like,
he gave me shit. I had to go outside to get a memory card to record his set. And he came back in and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm doing your job for free. She's not coming back.
the crowd lost.
Yeah, they fucking lost it because they all. She's not coming.
She's not coming back, lad.
I'll fucking put that on. That's fucking
dude,
good, but.
because I reckon the pods go ebb and flow, and now we've hit like the sun setting.
All right,
feels a bit like squarish.
Is there anything you want to plug? Are you going up to Exmouth with Delby?
Yeah, man, I'm on.
Yeah,
when
when's
is
that?
it?
I
I
don't
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't look at this shit.
Delby
Somewhere.
told me it's coming
Somewhere
up.
in May, man.
Well, he can't plug it, but
Dude, I'm trying to. I'm still doing that pod, the Sure thing. I recorded an amp.
Are you?
I recorded an amp about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't heard from Josh since. And like, I've messaged him, and I even tried to ring him
I don't
today. I
understand,
don't know
like-
if he's hung himself over Christmas.
we record and just bang, it's up in.
Dude,
like
I
it'll
tell
be
him
up.
that.
It's what? It's 4:47 right now. I guarantee by 5:15 it'll be up.
I tell this
and
prick
posted.
the whole time. I'm like, they want authentic. Just say whatever.
Yeah.
And he wants to add his little ads. If you're listening here, mate, you better be dead because you haven't answered. You haven't answered me in 3 weeks. I'm like, where's the pod? And people are messaging going like, where's the app? And I'm going, the app's in the can. It's all references to Ukraine, the shit. It's like you showing that clip. I'm like, it's losing fucking traction, man.
All right.
Anyway, man, that was
we're
fun.
getting the batteries or the memories.
How long was that app?
That's about 2 hours, I think, man. Yeah, 2 hours. It's good.
Jeez.
Man,
Thanks
fucking
for
that was
having me on
awesome.
the game, boys.
Thank you for coming
I'll
on.
see
Thank
you
you,
again in a
Delby.
year, man.
Cheers.